Chapter 172. After a month of hard work, the flaming astral spear art had finally broken through to the 6th level. Lu Ming's combat strength had increased once again. His fire force had also improved, and he was getting closer to the small success stage. Unfortunately, the ancient shield art's progress was still slow, and there was still a long way to go before he could reach the 1st level. However, he was still improving in all aspects. Lu Ming roused himself and continued to cultivate. The flaming astral spear art had already reached the great completion stage. Next, Lu Ming focused more on the ancient shield art and the fire force. He spent more than half of the day fighting the flame spirit in this tunnel. His understanding of the fire force had increased by leaps and bounds. In the blink of an eye, another month had passed. On the 3rd platform in the Temple of Paragon, Lu Ming was fighting with a blurry figure. That figure had completely replicated Lu Ming's combat strength. No matter how much Lu Ming improved, the figure also improved. Boom! Boom! The flaming tongue spear was like a fire dragon in Lu Ming's hands. It danced in the air and unleashed a powerful force. The space kept exploding. There's a flaw. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. His spear was like lightning as it pierced towards the figure's right shoulder. Just as the tip of the spear was about to pierce his shoulder, a light suddenly flashed from his body, and a shield about 5 meters long and 1 meter wide appeared. The shield looked very ancient, and it was bronze in color. It looked like it was a shield used by ancient people in battle. Clang! The spear pierced the shield, and there was a loud explosion. Lu Ming used all his strength to pierce the shield, but the shield didn't budge. The huge force caused Lu Ming's spear to bend. Whoosh! At this moment, the figure also pierced towards Lu Ming. It was as fast as lightning, and there was no time to dodge. Ancient shield. With a thought, an ancient shield identical to the other party's appeared in front of Lu Ming. When the other party's spear struck the shield, it did not budge at all. This was the ancient shield technique. After 2 months of hard work, Lu Ming had finally succeeded in cultivating it 2 days ago. He had reached the 1st level and was able to condense an ancient shield to protect himself. An Earth-grade martial skill was indeed worthy of being called an Earth-grade martial skill. Its power was still beyond Lu Ming's expectations. Even if he used all his strength, he could not break it in the slightest. With the ancient shield technique, as long as the person's combat strength was similar to his, he would be in an invincible position. Boom! Lu Ming and that figure both used the ancient shield technique. The two of them completely ignored each other's attacks and attacked each other crazily. Even if it is an Earth-grade martial skill, it should have a weakness. It is impossible for it to be flawless. What I need to do is to find the weakness of the ancient shield technique in the fierce battle with myself. This way, my comprehension of the ancient shield technique will be greatly increased. Lu Ming was very clear in his heart that the figure condensed on the 3rd platform had the same combat strength as him. As long as he continuously wanted to defeat himself, his martial skill would continue to improve. Fire force, just a little bit more, and I will be able to reach the small success stage. I feel that it won't be long. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely bright. Every aspect of his body was improving, which made Lu Ming feel extremely refreshed. What was more refreshing than watching yourself become stronger and stronger? The battle continued until 6 hours were up. When the spiritual chi of the spiritual crystals was almost exhausted, Lu Ming stopped. Holding a spiritual crystal with both hands, Lu Ming began to recover. With the appearance of the spirit-devouring bloodline, the spirit energy in the spirit crystal was devoured and refined by the bloodline in the blink of an eye, turning into Lu Ming's vital energy. Soon, Lu Ming's vital energy recovered and even improved. A few days ago, Lu Ming's cultivation had also improved a little, and he had reached the mid-second stage of the martial master realm. After recovering his true chi, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon and planned to walk around the cave to relax his mind. After arriving at the cave, Lu Ming couldn't help but look at the cave where Xian Yinqing was. It had been 2 months, and Xian Yinqing had been hiding in that cave and hadn't come out. Moreover, Lu Ming could vaguely hear the sound of flowing water. What's in that cave? Lu Ming was overflowing with curiosity and decided to take a look. He restrained his aura and carefully approached. When he arrived at the entrance of the cave, the sound of flowing water became even clearer. Great, so there really is water. I haven't had a drop of water for a month. Lu Ming's eyes shone with a fiery light. Although he had some water in his storage ring, he had used it up a month ago. In the past month, he hadn't had a drop of water, although with his cultivation, it wouldn't be a problem even if he didn't drink water for half a year because he could absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth to replenish himself. It was still very uncomfortable. He tiptoed in, and a river came into view. Yes, a river. There was actually an underground river here. It was 5 to 6 meters wide, and the river flowed to an unknown place. How was this a cave? It was clearly another huge underground cave. However, he didn't see Xian Yinqing's figure. That's strange. Where did Xian Yinqing go? Lu Ming walked to the underground river and looked around curiously. However, he didn't see Xian Yinqing's figure. Who cares about her? She might be cultivating in another cave. I'll take a bath first. Lu Ming hadn't taken a bath for 2 months and felt that his whole body was about to stink. When he saw an underground river, he suddenly felt itchy all over. In no time, Lu Ming had taken off all his clothes. He was stark naked. Splash! At this moment, in the river in front of Lu Ming, water splashed and a figure emerged from the water. Wasn't that Xian Yinqing? At this moment, Xian Yinqing's upper body was almost exposed above the water. A large area of snow-white skin was reflected in Lu Ming's eyes. Although Xian Yinqing was young, she had developed quite a lot. A pair of small rabbits stood erect in front of her chest. Drops of water hung on them, crystal clear. Lu Ming had never seen such a scene before. His eyes immediately widened as he stared blankly. When Xian Yinqing came out of the water, she immediately saw a naked man standing in front of her. She was also stunned. Her eyes were wide open as she stared at Lu Ming with a confused expression. Ah, pervert! After a while, a heaven-shaking, earth-shattering shriek rang out from within the cave. Nestle, Lu Ming also came to his senses. He picked up his clothes and put them on quickly. Xian Yinqing sank to the bottom of the water. In a few breaths of time, she rushed up again. The difference was that she was wearing a long dress. Lu Ming, you actually dared to peek at me bathing. I'm going to kill you. Xian Yinqing screamed. Her body was like lightning as she rushed toward Lu Ming. While she was in the air, she continuously sent out a few palm strikes. A few powerful palm strikes blasted toward Lu Ming. Third layer, martial master. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. It was obvious that Xian Yinqing's cultivation had broken through in the past 2 months. Lu Ming did not take the attack head-on. He used the high air steps and his body flashed, avoiding Xian Yinqing's palm strikes. After 2 months of cultivation, his high air steps had also improved to the 4th level. Don't even think about dodging. Xian Yinqing shouted and sent out 6 palm strikes. In an instant, 6 demonic palm strikes blasted toward Lu Ming. So strong. She became stronger again. Lu Ming was secretly surprised. Chapter 173. Hey, are you crazy? I didn't do it on purpose. Lu Ming yelled and used his high steps to evade the attack. I don't care if you did it on purpose or not. Anyway, you saw it. I'm going to dig your eyeballs out. Xian Yinqing's eyes were cold. Damn, so what if I saw it? You even saw my private parts? I only saw half of you, but you saw my whole body. How are we going to settle this? Lu Ming shouted angrily. Shameless pervert, shameless, despicable scum. Xian Yinqing was so angry that his face turned red. and he cursed incoherently. Lu Ming was speechless. Boom! Boom! Xian Yinqing's palm power became stronger and blocked Lu Ming from all directions. Even if Lu Ming used the soaring steps, it would be difficult for him to dodge. Ancient Shield. Without hesitation, Lu Ming used the Ancient Shield secret art. An ancient shield condensed and floated in front of him. Boom! Boom! Xian Yinqing's demonic great palm continuously smashed on the ancient shield. A series of violent explosions sounded. The ancient shield in front of Lu Ming shook violently, but it was not broken. It completely blocked Xian Yinqing's demonic great palm. Earth-level martial skill. You actually cultivated an Earth-level martial skill? Xian Yinqing let out an incredulous cry. Generally, only martial ancestor realm warriors were qualified to cultivate an Earth-level martial skill. Now Lu Ming, who was only a second-level martial master, was able to successfully cultivate it. No wonder Xian Yinqing was shocked. Haha, now you know how powerful I am? How about this, since we've seen each other? Why don't you follow me and follow me in the future? Well, don't fight anymore. I won't lower myself to your level. Lu Ming laughed loudly. He was very arrogant. I'll dig your eyes out from your big head. Xian Yinqing shouted. Unwilling to give up, he launched a storm of attacks at Lu Ming. It had to be said that Xian Yinqing was really too strong. In terms of battle prowess, Lu Ming was definitely not his match. However, Lu Ming had mastered the ancient shield technique. All of Xian Yinqing's attacks were blocked by the ancient shield. Xian Yinqing blasted out dozens of palms in succession, but he was unable to break through Lu Ming's defense. Instead, he was so tired that he was gasping for breath. Xian Yinqing, you're the one who was unkind in the first place. You monopolized such a good place, yet you still have the nerve to attack me. Don't think that I'm afraid of you, Lu Ming coldly shouted. While defending, Lu Ming did not forget to attack. His long spear pierced through the air, constantly attacking Xian Yinqing's vital points. But all of his attacks were scattered by Xian Yinqing's palm power. The two of them exchanged more than 100 moves, but neither of them could do anything to the other. Finally, after exchanging a move, they both retreated more than 10 steps and stood facing each other. Xian Yinqing was gasping for breath. When he thought of the scene just now, his cheeks flushed red. He stared fiercely at Lu Ming. If looks could kill, Lu Ming would have been pierced into a hornet's nest. Lu Ming was also sweating all over and panting like a cow. He held a few spirit crystals in his hand and controlled his blood to recover. Although the power of an Earth-level martial skill was great, the consumption of true qi was also extremely terrifying. Hey, why are you staring at me so hard? Do you still want to see? I'm already dressed. Do you want me to take them off? Lu Ming could not help but say. As soon as the words left his mouth, Lu Ming wanted to slap himself and secretly scold himself for his cheap mouth. Sure enough, Xian Yinqing's beautiful eyes widened and emitted a cold, murderous intent. He gritted his teeth and wanted to bite Lu Ming a few times. However, this time, Xian Yinqing did not make a move. Instead, he stared fiercely at Lu Ming and said coldly, "This time I'll let it go. Now, please leave this place. I've already said before that this place belongs to me." It belongs to you? Why should it belong to you? This is an underground river. Can you use it all? I want to take a bath now. After the big battle, Lu Ming felt even more itchy all over. He wanted to jump into the underground river and take a bath. No, Xian Yinqing said coldly. No, I'm a man. A man can't say no. Today, even if I can't, I have to. Hey, I'm going to take off my clothes. If you want to look at me more. After saying that, Lu Ming began to take off his clothes. He found that to deal with Xian Yinqing, he could not use normal means. Instead, it was easier to deal with him by being a rascal. Sure enough, when Xian Yinqing saw Lu Ming take off his clothes, his eyes were burning with anger. However, in the end, he had no choice but to clench his teeth and turn around to leave. Haha! Lu Ming laughed heartily. He took off his clothes and jumped into the underground river. The river water was extremely cold. Lu Ming was wrapped in it. Lu Ming felt that every pore on his body was opened and a comfortable feeling spread throughout his body. Cool, this is too cool. Lu Ming could not help but sigh. Then, Lu Ming leisurely soaked in the water. Hey, there are fish in the water? Lu Ming suddenly felt that there was something swimming under the water. Lu Ming dived into the water. The underground river was quite deep, at least more than 10 meters deep. When Lu Ming dived down, he found many silver-white palm-sized prawns swimming around. So it's a prawn. Wait, is this a centenarian prawn? Lu Ming's eyes widened in surprise. Centenarian prawn was a strange species that could live for at least 100 years. It was extremely rare and lived in places where people rarely went. The most famous thing about the centenarian prawn was that its meat was extremely delicious and contained a large amount of essence. If a martial artist consumed it, it could continuously improve their physical body and enhance their physical strength. In the outside world, each of them could be sold for a sky-high price. However, Lu Ming could see a group of them at a glance. No wonder Xie Nianqing wanted to occupy this place and not leave. It turns out that there are centenarian prawns here. So cunning. Lu Ming originally felt a little sorry for Xie Nianqing, but now he felt indignant. I'll catch it. Lu Ming grabbed with his claw. True qi gushed out and formed a net of true qi, covering the centenarian prawn. Splash! A group of at least 20 centenarian prawns was caught by Lu Ming. Lu Ming took out a jade box and filled it with water. He placed the centenarian prawns in the jade box and kept it in the Temple of Paragon. Then he twisted his body and swam forward like a fish, catching a group of centenarian prawns. In less than half an hour, Lu Ming had caught more than 100 centenarian prawns. There's so many centenarian prawns in this underground river. There should be more in other places. I'll come back in a few days. Lu Ming rushed out of the water with satisfaction and put on his clothes. When he walked out of the cave, he didn't see Xie Nianqing in the cave outside. He should be in another cave. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered. He returned to the cave he was in before and sat on the stone bench. With a wave of his hand, a box of centenarian prawns was placed on the stone table. The centenarian prawns were palm-sized and silver-white in color. Lu Ming picked one up and shook it to death with his true qi. Then he peeled off the shell of the centenarian prawn. The crystal clear and plump prawn meat was revealed. Lu Ming took a bite. It was soft and tender. There was no fishy smell. Instead, there was a faint fragrance. It was indeed very delicious. Lu Ming finished the centenarian prawn in a few bites. Then, he felt a cool energy spreading throughout his body, seeping into his muscles and bones. Waves of numbness and itchiness spread out. It was very comfortable. Immediately, Lu Ming used the Raging Flame Vajra art to refine the energy and increase the strength of his body. The centenarian prawns are indeed amazing. It's just as the rumors say. Chapter 174. Then, Lu Ming ate more than 10 centenarian shrimps in a row. After refining the essence of the 10 centenarian shrimps, Lu Ming's body was constantly approaching the level of rank 2 upper realm. The taste is really good, but it should be better if I change the taste. Lu Ming clicked his tongue. Then his eyes lit up. He got up and walked out to the flaming passage. As soon as he walked into the passage, flames and fire spirits emerged from the passage. Grill them for me. Lu Ming waved his hand and more than 10 centenarian shrimps appeared. They were controlled by Lu Ming's genuine qi and floated in the air. Lu Ming was actually using the flames here to grill the shrimps. If the ancestors of the Dongyi tribe who had set up these inscriptions saw this, they would be so angry that they would crawl out of their coffins. Sizzle, the centenarian shrimps made sizzling sounds. Soon, a fragrant aroma filled the air. As for the fire spirits, they were all blown away by Lu Ming's long spear. As time passed, the aroma became stronger and stronger. In the end, the aroma filled the entire underground cave. Xian Yinqing's figure appeared at the entrance of a cave and looked over curiously. When she saw Lu Ming looking at her, she couldn't help but snort coldly and return to the cave. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered with her. At this time, the centenarian shrimps had been grilled. They were red all over. He walked out of the passage and picked up one to peel the shell. After peeling the shell, the aroma became several times stronger. He couldn't wait to take a bite. It was soft and fragrant. It was several times better than when it wasn't grilled. Awesome, this is awesome. Then Lu Ming finished the dozen centenarian shrimps like a whirlwind. Satisfied, he returned to the cave to refine the essence of the centenarian shrimps. His physical body was constantly improving. Soon, the essence of the dozen centenarian shrimps was refined. At this time, a strong aroma came from outside. Lu Ming walked out of the cave and saw Xia Nianqing roasting shrimps in the passage like him. Seeing Lu Ming, Xia Nianqing blushed slightly. Then, she glared at Lu Ming and snorted coldly, then continued to grill shrimps. Huh. Lu Ming laughed and returned to the cave to continue cultivating. 5 days later, Lu Ming ran out of centenarian shrimps and went to the underground river to catch more. Xian Yinqing was helpless. Lu Ming had cultivated the ancient shield. She couldn't break it for the time being, so she could only let Lu Ming catch it. She couldn't break it. She could only let Lu catch. In order to break through an Earth-tier defensive martial skill, only an Earth-tier offensive martial skill of the same level would be possible. Or his cultivation was too high. Xian Yinqing's cultivation technique was rather special. She had yet to start cultivating an Earth-level martial skill. You. Xian Yinqing could only comfort herself like this. In this way, Lu Ming would catch centenarian shrimps every few days. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed since the collapse of this small plane. In the last period, Lu Ming's physical body rushed to complete second stage with the help of the centenarian shrimps. The progress was so fast that Lu Ming was speechless. Therefore, in the last few days, Lu Ming crazily caught centenarian shrimps and stored them. Of course, Xian Yinqing did the same. Almost all the centenarian shrimps in the river were caught. When the 3 months were up, the place where the stone altar had exploded began to emit rays of light. On the ground, the inscriptions were shining and covered the ground like a net. Lu Ming and Xia Nianqing stood aside and waited. A few hours later, the inscriptions were dazzling and finally condensed into a light door. The space path, the teleportation door. Lu Ming was overjoyed. After being trapped here for 3 months, he could finally get out. In these 3 months, he had gained a lot. Although the cultivation environment here was much better than outside, if he stayed here for a long time, his family and friends outside would be worried. Moreover, blindly cultivating was not necessarily better. Martial artists needed to experience various things in the mortal world to hone their state of mind. Only then could they continue to improve. Whoosh! Whoosh! When the teleportation door appeared, Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing moved at the same time and rushed into the light door. After a while, when everything stabilized, Lu Ming found that he had returned to Mount Jiao. He and Xian Yinqing stood on a huge monster stone statue. Under their feet, light was shining. Then, the light dimmed and everything returned to normal. It's a one-way teleportation. It seems that it's impossible to enter in the future. Lu Ming thought to himself. Lu Ming, I'll settle the score with you sooner or later. Humph! Xian Yinqing stared at Lu Ming fiercely. Anytime, but don't get beaten up by me the next time you see me. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Beaten up by you? How is that possible? Next time, I'll definitely smash your turtle shell and trample you under my feet. Xia Nianqing gritted his teeth. Then his body flashed and disappeared under Mount Jiao like a black butterfly. Lu Ming smiled and did not mind. I wonder how the war in Dongke City is going? Lu Ming's thoughts returned to the war in Dongke City. Then Lu Ming moved. He stepped on the top of the tree and rushed to Dongke City. Half a day later, Dongke City was in sight. But now, the situation in Dongke City was completely different from 3 months ago. 3 months ago, Dongke City was on high alert. But now, Dongke City's gates were open and people were coming in and out in an endless stream. It seemed that the war in Dongke City was over. After Lu Ming entered the city, he went straight to the mayor's mansion. He wanted to find Fu Liang to ask about the situation. When he showed his identity as a disciple of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, he naturally met Fu Liang. Lu Ming, you're not dead. Fu Liang was shocked to see Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and said, City Lord Fu, I'm fine. Young hero Lu Ming, it's great that you're not dead. That day, the disciples of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect came back and said that you've died in the ruins of the Dongyi tribe. Fu Liang told him about the situation during this period. 3 months ago, the disciples of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect came back with only 50 people left. They said that the others had died in the ruins of the Dongyi tribe. The Dongyi tribe also retreated to the coastal mountains 1 day later. This incident shook the entire Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Many people came to find Lu Ming, but in the end, they all returned without success. Lu Ming guessed that those people should be Pang Shi, Feng Wu, Mulins, and the others. I heard that the Mystic Essence Sword Sect has confirmed the fact that you've died in battle. This news has also been reported to your family. Fu Liang said, What? They've already reported to my family. Lu Ming's heart tightened. If Li Ping knew that he was dead, how sad would she be? In Li Ping's heart, Lu Yuntian was already dead. Lu Ming was her only hope. If she knew that Lu Ming was dead, how desperate would she be? At this moment, Lu Ming was anxious to return home. Thank you, Mayor Fu. I have to go home now. Goodbye. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Without a moment's hesitation, he left the mayor's mansion and rushed toward Firestorm City. Fortunately, Dongke City was not too far away from Windy Fire City. Lu Ming used the high air steps and traveled at full speed. He was like a gust of wind as he rushed toward Windy Fire City. When his true qi was exhausted, he used spirit crystals to recover. Chapter 175. Ah, look who's that? Lu Ming. That's the young lord of the Lu clan, Lu Ming. Didn't they say that he was dead? So he's not dead. Something big is going to happen. As soon as Lu Ming walked into Firestorm City, the crowd looked at him in disgust. Lu Ming frowned. He felt that the people around him were looking at him strangely. Other than surprise, there was also a trace of pity. Lu Ming was puzzled, but he did not stop. He went straight to the Lu clan. After a while, he arrived at the gate of the Lu clan. Who's there? Stop right there, ah? You're the young lord? Lu Ming. A burly man guarding the gate shouted. When he saw that it was Lu Ming, he cried out in surprise. The other burly men guarding the gate were also shocked. It's me. I'm not dead. Get out of the way, Lu Ming said. With that, he was about to walk in. However, the burly men guarding the gate pulled out their sabers and blocked in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you can't go in. Impudent! Lu Ming shouted. His frown deepened. The guards of the Lu clan actually called him by his name and pulled out their sabers to stop him. Something was wrong. Seeing that Lu Ming was angry, the burly men's faces turned pale. Obviously, they were afraid. One of them gritted his teeth and said, Lu Ming, we're following orders. No one is allowed to go in. Following orders? Whose orders? Lu Ming scolded, but the bad feeling in his heart grew stronger. Young lord, go, don't come back. Suddenly, a white-haired old man rushed out from inside and shouted loudly. Uncle Chong, what's going on? Lu Ming shouted. The old man was an old servant of the Lu clan. He did not have much cultivation, but he had always been loyal to the Lu clan. "Young lord, it's the Grand Elder. He's back, and he's bringing a lot of experts with him. He wants to take over the Lu clan for himself." Several of the core elders were killed, and the other branches of the Lu clan have already submitted to the Grand Elder. He shouted at the count, "What? Lu Yunxiong?" Lu Ming's heart shook violently. "Where is my mother? How is my mother?" Lu Ming immediately thought of Li Ping. "Madame has been locked up in the courtyard of the main hall and has been interrogated by them for 2 days. This old servant doesn't know how the situation is. Young master, the great elder has brought many experts with him this time. You are no match for him. You should leave first. As long as you are alive, there is hope." Uncle Chong tried to persuade him, but worry was written all over his face. Boom, boom, boom. Uncle Chong's words were like bolts of lightning that exploded in Lu Ming's heart. In an instant, an indescribable cold-killing intent was emitted from Lu Ming's body. "Lu Yunxiong." Lu Ming whispered, his eyes extremely cold. At the same time, he was extremely afraid that something had happened to Li Ping. The burly gatekeepers and Uncle Chong shuddered, and a gust of cold air rushed to the top of their heads. Whoosh! Suddenly, a cold light shot out from behind the door. It was too sudden. Lu Ming was shocked, and it was too late for him to save Li Ping. A sword light pierced through Uncle Chong's back. Blood splattered everywhere, and Uncle Chong fell to the ground. "Young lord, leave now! Leave now!" Uncle Chong shouted, and gradually stopped breathing. A young man in his 20s walked out from behind the door and said coldly, "Old man, how dare you leak information? You're courting death." Then he looked at Lu Ming with a slightly surprised expression. "Lu Ming, you're really lucky to be alive after falling into the Dongyi ruins. However, you shouldn't have come back. Since you're back, I'll send you on your way. Die." At this moment, Lu Ming's expression calmed down, but the murderous intent in his eyes was colder than 10,000-year-old ice. This young man had a green tree embroidered on his sleeve. Obviously, he was a young expert from the Duanmu family. "What, you want to kill me? I know your combat strength is comparable to an ordinary 5th-level martial master, but I'm also a 5th-level martial master. Do you think I'm an ordinary 5th-level martial master?" The young man from the Duanmu family sneered. "Nonsense, Dai!" Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming unleashed his full strength. The powerful true qi, coupled with the power of fire, was like a volcano erupting. Boom! The long spear swept towards the young man from the Duanmu family. The young man from the Duanmu family's expression changed greatly, and he blocked with his sword. However, boom! Lu Ming's long spear collided with his long sword. He felt as though he had been hit by a volcano. His body flew backward like a cannonball, smashing through 2 walls consecutively before finally being embedded in the 3rd wall. How is this possible? His eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. One move, just one move, and all the bones in his body were broken, and he was embedded into the wall like a pile of mud. How could Lu Ming be so strong? He was a genius, and his combat strength was not something an ordinary 5th-level martial master could compare to. Yet, he could not even block one move from Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the long spear and walked step by step towards the young man from the Duanmu family. The guards at the door were scared out of their wits, and their bodies trembled. "Lu Ming, don't kill me. My Duanmu family has a 9th-level martial master expert here. If you kill me, your whole family will die, and your mother will be miserable." The young man from the Duanmu family screamed in horror. Whoosh! The long spear in Lu Ming's hand turned into a spearlight and shot out, piercing through the young man's heart and nailing him to the wall. Lu Ming's body moved, and he jumped over 2 walls. He pulled out the long spear and headed towards the Lu family's courtyard. The Lu family's courtyard was outside the Lu family's conference hall, and it occupied a large area. At this moment, there was an armchair at the entrance of the conference hall. An old man was sitting on it, resting with his eyes closed. There were more than 10 people around the old man, and one of them was Lu Yunxiong. He was staring coldly at the courtyard. In the courtyard, Li Ping and 4 other core elders of the Lu family stood together. They were surrounded by more than 30 burly men. These people were basically from the Duanmu family. However, there was an exception, and that was Ning Kong. Yes, Ning Feng's father, one of the chief elders of the Vermilion Bird family, Ning Kong. Li Ping, have you thought it through? Announce to the entire Lu family that you will pass the patriarch position to me, and then kneel in front of everyone and apologize to me, admitting that you have wronged me. Lu Yunxiong looked coldly at Li Ping and said, "Don't even think about it. In your dreams." Li Ping rejected immediately. "Don't even think about it? You're about to die, and you're still holding on. I've starved you for 2 days, and it seems like it's not enough. Then continue to starve and stand here. I'll see how long you can hold on." Lu Yunxiong said gloomily. Li Ping's face was pale, and her body was trembling. She looked extremely weak. 2 days it had been 2 days. She had been forced by Lu Yunxiong to stand in the courtyard without food or water, and she had to endure the scorching sun. Chapter 176. Lu Yunxiong, give up. Even if I die, I won't let you have your way. Li Ping scolded. "Bitch, what's the point of holding on? Your husband is dead, and now that little bastard Lu Ming is dead too. You dare to go against me? I want all of you dead." Lu Yunxiong scolded. "Nonsense. My son Lu Ming will never die." Li Ping shouted. "He won't die? Don't deceive yourself. He can't be any more dead. You have no one to rely on." Lu Yunxiong sneered and attacked Li Ping. "Ming-er." Li Ping's body trembled and tears welled up in her eyes. Although she did not admit it, she knew very well that Lu Ming was afraid that an accident had really happened. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect sent someone to announce it. How could it be wrong? She was in despair. "Lu Yunxiong, aren't you afraid of being punished by the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect?" A core elder shouted angrily. "Haha, punish? When Lu Ming was alive, he was indeed a peerless genius and was valued by the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. But now that he's dead, who would punish me for a dead person? Moreover, everyone here is from the Duanmu family. How could the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect punish someone from the Duanmu family? What a joke!" Lu Yunxiong laughed wildly. The other burly men from the Duanmu family also laughed proudly. What a pity! What a pity that little bastard Lu Ming is dead. Otherwise, I would kill his mother in front of him and let him have a taste of losing his family. Ning Kong's tone was very cold. "Bah, shameless person. Like father, like son. Look at you. No wonder your son died in Ming-er's hands." Li Ping glared at Ning Kong and said disdainfully, "You're courting death." Ning Kong was furious and said to Lu Yunxiong, "Brother Lu, I don't think we should wait any longer. Let me take action now and torture this bitch. I want her to beg for death. At that time, she will agree to whatever conditions you have." "Lu Yunxiong, let's do it this way. We don't have so much time to waste here." The old man from the Duanmu clan opened his eyes and said, "Good. Then let's do it this way. I'll leave this person to Brother Ning. You can do whatever you want. Just use whatever means you have." Lu Yunxiong sneered. "Lu Yunxiong, what are you trying to do? How could you treat a member of the Lu clan like this? Are you still human?" A core elder of the Lu family roared. Bang! Suddenly, Ning Kong's figure moved, and a palm strike landed on this core elder's body. Ning Kong was a 9th-level martial master expert, a core elder of the Lu clan. How could he possibly block it? His body was pierced through by the boundless palm energy, and he was sent flying, no longer breathing. "You old fogies, why are you chirping here? You're courting death," Ning Kong said coldly. All all of you will die a horrible death. Lu Yunxiong, you will suffer a retribution. The other 3 core elders roared. Now, only 3 of the 7 core elders of the Lu clan were left. The rest were killed by the Duanmu clan 2 days ago. Shut up, you old fogies. I wanted to spare your lives, but it seems like it's no longer necessary. Attack, kill them. Lu Yunxiong waved his hand. Clang! Clang! Around them, a few burly men from the Duanmu clan unsheathed their sabers and were about to attack. At that moment, a burly man who was covered in blood staggered in. Oh no, no! The burly man shouted. What's going on? Lu Yunxiong's face changed. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming! The burly man exclaimed. As soon as he said that, everyone was shocked. What Lu Ming? Lu Ming is dead. Lu Yunxiong said. No, he's not dead. He's not dead. He killed his way in. The burly man shouted, his eyes shining with fear. What? Lu Yunxiong and the others were shocked. As for Li Ping and the other 3 core elders, they were stunned for a moment before they were overjoyed. Ming is not dead. Ming is not dead. Li Ping muttered to himself, tears of joy rolling down his cheeks. He was so excited that his body trembled. Ha, the young lord is not dead. I knew it. The young lord is a genius. How could he die? The core elders of the Lu clan laughed. Impossible. How is this possible? Lu Yunxiong roared. Nothing is impossible. A cold voice came from the sky. A young figure stepped on the void, his body as light as a feather, and floated in. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming! It's really him, he's not dead. Exclamations could be heard from the crowd. Ha, it's really the young lord. The 3 core elders laughed. Ming, Li Ping was excited. Lu Ming, it's really him. Lu Yunxiong and Ning Kong growled in shock. Lu Ming did not look at the others. He took several steps forward and landed in front of Li Ping like a gust of wind. Looking at Li Ping's pale face, Lu Ming felt a throbbing pain in his heart. His eyes reddened as he said, Mother, I'm late. I've made you suffer. Ming, is it really you? Mother, thought I'd never see you again. Li Ping caressed Lu Ming's face as tears flowed down her cheeks. Initially, she really thought that Lu Ming was dead, and her heart was filled with despair. But now, Lu Ming was standing in front of her, alive and well. The joy was indescribable, and she seemed to have recovered a lot in an instant. Mother, take this pill. Lu Ming took out a pill that could replenish blood and qi, and fed it to Li Ping. Li Ping took the pill, but as if she remembered something, her face changed. Ming, leave quickly. Don't care about Mother. Leave quickly. Leave. Since you're here, you want to leave? Ridiculous, Lu Yunxiong said coldly. At this moment, Lu Ming slowly turned around. His expression was indifferent, and his eyes were cold as ice. His gaze swept across Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the other members of the Duanmu family. He said coldly, all of you must die. Lu Ming's murderous intent was extremely strong. He had never felt such a strong murderous intent toward anyone before. Dragons had reverse scales, and those who touched them would be killed. For Lu Ming, his family was his reverse scale. Haha, Lu Ming, you still want to kill us? What a joke! Lu Yunxiong laughed. Kill, Lu Ming must be killed. Kill him, and pretend that he didn't appear today, that he died in the Dongyi ruins. The old man in the armchair stood up and said coldly, if Lu Ming returned to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, it would be difficult for them to act. They might as well kill Lu Ming today and pretend that Lu Ming didn't appear and died in the Dongyi ruins. This way, as long as the higher-ups of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect didn't send people to investigate, they wouldn't know. Lu Ming, it's good that you're not dead. Today, I'll kill the person closest to you in front of you, and let you taste the pain of losing a loved one. Ha. Ning Kong laughed. Lu Ming, you're really stupid. If I were you, I would run back to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. How dare you show up here in broad daylight? You're the one who's looking for death. Chapter 177. Young Master, leave quickly. Don't worry about us. A core elder roared. Kill! Kill! However, Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the sky. His aura exploded as he swept his long spear towards the surrounding Duanmu family members. Kill him! Lu Yunxiong shouted. Swish! Swish! Sabers were unsheathed one by one. The surrounding Duanmu family members shouted angrily as they slashed towards Lu Ming. Dozens of people attacked together. However, when Lu Ming's long spear swept past, the saber radiance collapsed. 5 or 6 men were swept away by Lu Ming like cannonballs. They crashed into the wall of the courtyard and slid down like mud without any signs of life. Kill! Lu Ming shouted angrily as he swept his spear again. Another 7 or 8 men were killed. These were all martial artists in the martial master realm. They were far inferior to Lu Ming. Attack, martial masters, attack! Lu Yunxiong was shocked and furious. On the stairs, more than 10 martial master realm martial artists dashed out and pounced on Lu Ming. Among the dozen or so martial grandmasters, the lowest cultivation was at the 1st level of the martial grandmaster realm, and the highest was at the 5th level of the martial grandmaster realm. When more than 10 people joined forces, their power was shocking. Landslide. In an instant, Lu Ming erupted with all his strength without holding back. He brought out his bloodline and the power of fire, bringing out his full combat prowess. During this period of time, Lu Ming had made great progress. Before he came out, his fire force had reached small success. And its power was extremely terrifying. Lu Ming's entire body was filled with scorching heat, as if he was a volcano with raging flames. Boom! Lu Ming ignored the attacks. He swept his long spear with the force of a landslide. Bang! Bang! The result was the same as before. Lu Ming was unstoppable. 4 to 5 strong martial masters were sent flying. Their bones were broken and their internal organs were shattered. They died before they landed on the ground. Strong, unbelievably strong. Lu Yunxiong and the others gasped in shock and anger. Li Ping and the 3 core elders were shocked, surprised, and delighted. Kill! Lu Ming's murderous aura surged like a tide, his momentum like a rainbow. His eyes had already turned red from the killing. Boom! With another sweep of the spear, a few more great martial masters were killed. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand, like an undefeatable god of war, killing unhindered. The people of the Duanmu clan were extremely shocked and couldn't help but retreat. This brat can't be left alive. He's too terrifying. Ning Kong, Lu Yunxiong, and the others roared in their hearts. Every time he saw Lu Ming, he would discover that Lu Ming's strength would increase crazily, as if it would never stop. I'll kill him! Ning Kong roared furiously, his body pouncing towards Lu Ming like an eagle. While in midair, he struck out with his palm. Ning Kong was a peak expert of the 9th level of the martial master realm. This palm strike was earth-shattering. The space rumbled and the air exploded. A terrifying pressure surged towards Lu Ming. Ancient shield. An ancient shield appeared, blocking in front of Lu Ming. Explode! At the same time, Lu Ming exploded with his strongest move, blasting towards Ning Kong's palm force. Boom! Terrifying shockwaves rolled in all directions. Lu Ming's attack was destroyed. The powerful palm force continued to blast towards Lu Ming. Minger! Li Ping turned pale with fright. At this moment, Li Ping was led by the 3 core elders to a corner of the courtyard. Clang! The powerful palm force blasted onto the shield in front of Lu Ming, causing a violent explosion. The ancient shield was vibrating continuously. Thereafter, it exploded with a loud bang. Lu Ming's body was thrown backward for more than 20 meters. He slammed heavily against a wall before coming to a stop. Puff! He spat out a mouthful of blood. The 9th level of the martial master realm is indeed powerful. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Just now he had resisted with all his strength. First, he used the explode to reduce a part of the opponent's palm force. Then, he used the ancient shield art to resist. Even with his perfect second stage body, he was still injured by the palm. My bloodline is indeed useless against an existence 5 levels higher than me. Lu Ming sighed. Just now, his bloodline had not erupted yet. It could have devoured half of the attack, but it had failed just now. Ning Kong's cultivation was 7 levels higher than his. The difference was too great. Lu Ming was shocked, but he did not know that Ning Kong and the others were even more shocked. Ning Kong's palm was blocked by Lu Ming. Although he was injured, he was not killed. This was too unbelievable, especially Ning Kong himself, who was even more shocked. One had to know that he was a 9th level martial master expert. Although he did not go all out, he was confident that even a martial artist who was an 8th level martial master would be injured by his palm. What was Lu Ming's cultivation level? The 2nd level of the martial master realm. How was this possible? Earth level martial skill. You actually cultivated an Earth level martial skill? The Duanmu family elder who was sitting on the armchair shouted crazily. What? Earth level martial skill? The others were even more shocked. Earth level martial skills were extremely rare. The difficulty of cultivating them was even more shocking. Normally, only martial ancestor realm warriors could cultivate them. Lu Ming was only a 2nd level martial master. How could he cultivate it successfully? Kill! We must kill him! At this moment, Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the Duanmu family elders were all shouting in their hearts. They were afraid. Lu Ming's talent was too terrifying. If he was allowed to grow, who knew how powerful he would be? That would be their disaster. Only by killing him in the cradle could they avoid this disaster. Boom! Ning Kong's aura surged. As for the Duanmu family elder, his aura also erupted. He was a 9th level martial master and was even stronger than Ning Kong. He was at the peak of the 9th level martial master. Lu Ming, you must die today. Lu Yunxiong roared. Is that so? You're the one who will die today. Lu Ming's voice was very indifferent. Ming, or leave quickly. You're still not their match. As long as you leave, they won't dare to do anything to me. Li Ping shouted, extremely worried. Those people were too strong. Lu Ming was obviously not their match. Mother, don't worry. Even if the person who hurt you is at the end of the world, I will kill him. Lu Ming smiled slightly. At this moment, his hand glowed. The fire-tongued spear disappeared and was replaced by the demon banishing spear. Beast soul, beast soul. I didn't expect it to come in handy so soon. Lu Ming whispered. That's right. He planned to merge with the beast soul and fight with Ning Kong. There were 2.5 beast souls in the demon banishing spear. 2 of them were at the peak of martial ancestor realm and were known as half-step king beast souls. The other half was a king beast soul. Lu Ming planned to merge with the peak of martial ancestor realm beast soul. However, he was taking a huge risk. Given Lu Ming's current cultivation and physical strength, he was not confident that he would be able to withstand the recoil. However, this was the only way at the moment. Beast soul, come out! The demon banishing, spear shook, and a beast roar was heard. A huge black wolf howled and flew into Lu Ming's body. Boom! At this moment, an extremely strong aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. This aura was strong, evil, tyrannical, and filled with killing intent. Roar! Lu Ming could not help but roar. His voice did not sound like a human's, but more like a wolf's. Oh no, he's merging with the beast soul. What a powerful beast soul. Stop him. Chapter 178. Boom! Boom! The Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong attacked. 2 terrifying attacks blasted toward Lu Ming. Roar! Lu Ming roared and leaped forward, sweeping his spear horizontally. The air exploded and the space trembled. Water-like ripples appeared. With two loud explosions, the Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong trembled and flew backward. Ning Kong was even worse off. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How can it be so strong? What level is that demonic beast? Ning Kong shouted in disbelief. He can't hold on for long after fusing with such a powerful beast soul. He will explode from the beast soul's power. Let's attack together and make him explode faster. The Duanmu family's elder roared. At this moment, Lu Ming was indeed under great pressure. The beast soul's violent power was rampaging in his body. His muscles and bones groaned as if they could explode at any time. Even his perfected rank, two body, could not withstand it. At this moment, a blood-red light flashed at his spine, and a powerful devouring force was emitted. This devouring power had neutralized most of the violent tearing force. This greatly reduced the pressure on Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming roared and rushed forward. His target was Lu Yunxiong. He had to kill Lu Yunxiong. Save me! Lu Yunxiong turned pale with fright. His legs were trembling as he retreated. At this moment, the Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong attacked again. The other Duanmu family members cooperated and attacked. Streaks of sword qi, saber light, and palm energy tore through the air toward Lu Ming. Sky-splitting wolf! Lu Ming roared. His long hair danced in the wind, and his aura was demonic. With a thrust of his spear, wolf howls could be heard. From the spear, huge black wolves flew out. This was the combat technique of the huge black wolf beast soul. As he had fused with the beast soul, Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The huge black wolves pounced, their claws splitting the sky as they pounced toward the Duanmu family's experts. Ah! Ah! Blood-curdling screams rose and fell. More than 10 men from the Duanmu family were torn apart. The Duanmu family elder and Ning Kong were forced back by 7 or 8 black wolves. Kill! Kill them all! Lu Ming wielded his spear and charged towards the remaining Duanmu clan members, like a tiger charging into a flock of sheep. Blood splattered everywhere, and blood qi permeated the air. At this moment, Lu Ming had transformed into a god of death, slaughtering to his heart's content. Every time a spear shadow flashed, a person would be killed. In just a few breaths, more than 20 people were killed. Fiendish demon, go. The remaining 10 or so members of the Duanmu clan were scared out of their wits. They ran for their lives and fled outside. Lu Ming's figure flashed and killed a few more people. Retreat! Lu Ming is no match for him. Let's retreat first. The old man from the Duanmu clan was so scared that his face was trembling. He roared in anger and then let out a long howl. Gia. Then a bird cry came from the sky. The 2 large eagles swooped down. You want to retreat? Stay here. Lu Ming shouted and dashed out, sweeping his spear. Boom! Boom! The old man from the Duanmu clan and Ning Kong joined forces and exchanged a blow with Lu Ming. However, the result was that the 2 of them were forced to retreat. Ning Kong's face turned pale, and he spat out another mouthful of blood. Go! The old man from the Duanmu clan borrowed the force and retreated to Lu Yunxiong's side. He grabbed Lu Yunxiong and soared into the sky, reaching 100 meters in the blink of an eye. Although experts at the peak of the 9th level of the martial Grandmaster realm could not fly, it was not difficult for them to jump a few 100 meters. At this moment, the 2 large eagles had also flown to this distance. The old man from the Duanmu clan and Lu Yunxiong landed on the back of one of the large eagles. The large eagle cried out and soared into the sky. Lu Yunxiong was Lu Yao's father and Duanmu Lin's future father-in-law. His status was not ordinary and he had to save him. Bang! At this moment, Ning Kong stomped his foot and soared into the sky, flying toward the other large eagle. "Stay here!" Lu Ming roared. His body was like a cannonball as he soared into the sky and charged toward Ning Kong. Landslide! The long spear was like a mountain as it charged toward Ning Kong. Blood slaughter! Ning Kong roared and spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. He exerted all his strength, and a terrifying aura roared as he threw out a few palm strikes. The blood and palm energy gathered and formed a few blood-red palm prints that blasted toward Lu Ming. Ning Kong was putting his life on the line. He had even used his secret technique. However, he still could not stop Lu Ming. After merging with the beast soul of a peak martial grandmaster, Lu Ming's strength was infinitely close to the martial grandmaster realm. He stood at the peak of the martial grandmaster realm. Ning Kong was no match for him. The long spear struck, and the palm prints were destroyed one by one. Ning Kong coughed out blood and retreated. He used this self-harming method and finally landed on the large eagle's back. On the other hand, Lu Ming's body fell downward. "Haha, Lu Ming, you want to kill me? Dream on. You've killed so many people from the Duanmu family. No matter what, the Duanmu family will not let you off." Ning Kong laughed loudly. However, as he laughed, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned as pale as a sheet. "That's right. Lu Ming, wait for the anger of the Duanmu family. Your Lu family will be burned to ashes by this anger." The Duanmu family's elder and Lu Yunxiong rode on a large eagle and floated 1,000 meters in the air. At this moment, the Duanmu family's elder said coldly. The Duanmu family had suffered heavy losses in this battle. Even the elder himself had been forced to flee. This was a great humiliation, and the anger in his heart burned fiercely. "Lu Ming, wait for your death!" Lu Yunxiong roared angrily. "Who allowed you to leave?" Suddenly, Lu Ming, who was falling, spoke coldly. He suddenly stomped his feet in the air, and his body actually stopped falling. Instead, he shot up. At this moment, his strength had increased tremendously. Even the power of the airborne steps had increased greatly. How can this be? Ning Kong was shocked. He was only a few hundred meters in the air. It was too late for him to go back up. He could only try his best to control the large eagle and escape. The large eagle spread its wings and flew forward rapidly. "Die!" Lu Ming roared. He held the spear with one hand and bent his body into the shape of a bow. Then he threw out the long spear. Using his body as a bow and the spear as an arrow, the long spear whistled through the air like a bolt of lightning. It was unbelievably fast. This was Lu Ming's full-powered spear. In an instant, it had crossed a few hundred meters and pierced towards Ning Kong. "No!" Ning Kong wailed. However, it was too late for him to dodge due to his heavy injuries. "Puchi!" The long spear pierced through Ning Kong's chest, bringing out a stream of blood. A large hole was blasted in Ning Kong's chest. His eyes were filled with extreme unwillingness and fear. As for the large eagle, it was shocked by the murderous intent of the spear. It cried out continuously and stopped in the air. Swoosh! Lu Ming took a few steps back. In an instant, he had crossed a few hundred meters and landed on the back of the large eagle. "Lu Ming!" Ning Kong cried out a few times in despair. Then his vitality dissipated and he was no longer breathing. "Let's go." Above, Lu Yunxiong and the old man from the Duanmu family almost wet their pants. They hurriedly urged the large eagle to fly towards the mystic essence sword sect. Lu Ming raised his head and looked. He circulated the essential qi in his body, and it burst out. The large eagle under his feet cried out and obeyed the order obediently. "Ming, are you all right?" Li Ping hurried over and asked with concern. "Mother, I'm fine." Chapter 179. Young Master. The 3 core elders of the Lu family were shocked. Their young master had grown to such a level? In their eyes, the Duanmu family's experts were invincible. However, in the hands of Lu Ming, they were killed like babies. They were shocked and could not calm down for a long time. 3 core elders, please take care of my mother. Lu Ming looked at the 3 core elders. Yes. The 3 core elders replied instinctively. Ming, where are you going? Li Ping's expression changed. Lu Yunxiong must die. Mother, don't worry. I'll be fine. Lu Ming smiled. Then, Lu Ming's bloodline condensed. Lu Ming did not avoid it. His spirit-devouring bloodline opened his mouth and sucked. The blood essence of the Duanmu family experts who had died in the courtyard flew out and gathered toward Lu Ming. Among them, there were a few 5th grade and 4th grade martial masters. They were of great help to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm leaving. Lu Ming said. He leaped and stepped onto the huge eagle. Ming, be careful. Li Ping shouted. Mother, don't worry. Lu Ming nodded solemnly. Then he stepped on the eagle. The eagle screeched and flew into the sky. The eagle soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the Lu family had disappeared. Lu Ming controlled the eagle and chased in the direction where Lu Yunxiong and the others had gone. At the same time, Lu Ming's aura dropped rapidly. The beast soul's power was finally exhausted. Lu Ming returned to his original level. However, he felt a stinging pain all over his body. This was caused by the beast soul's power attacking his body. Fortunately, I have the devouring bloodline and devoured most of the power. Otherwise, with my current cultivation and body, I wouldn't be able to withstand it. Lu Ming thought to himself. Then he refined the power of the blood essence to recover his true qi and body. Not long after, the blood essence was completely refined. Among them, the essence blood of a few 5th-layer martial master experts was of great help to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation broke through to the peak of the 2nd-layer martial master realm in one go. As for the injuries on his body, they were more or less healed. At this moment, Lu Ming looked at Ning Kong's corpse on the back of the giant eagle. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Ning Kong was a peak expert of the 9th layer of the martial Grandmaster realm. His essence blood was absolutely terrifying. Lu Ming did not want to miss it, but he also did not dare to rashly devour it. The essence blood of a 9th layer martial Grandmaster is not something that I can devour and refine right now. I'm afraid that if I devour it, my bloodline will explode. Lu Ming pondered. There was a limit to how much essence blood a bloodline could devour. Lu Ming felt that devouring an expert 3 or 4 levels higher than him was already somewhat strenuous. His bloodline would swell, and the essence blood of a 9th layer martial Grandmaster expert was at least equivalent to the essence blood of more than 60,000 2nd-layer martial Grandmasters. 60,000 was really too terrifying. Lu Ming guessed that if he devoured it, his bloodline might really explode from the violent energy. Forget it, I can't be too greedy. I'll just devour a drop and see. Lu Ming made up his mind. Then he controlled his bloodline and carefully devoured a drop of essence blood, sinking it into his bloodline. Boom! In an instant, it was as if a volcano had erupted in his bloodline. Violent energy wreaked havoc. Lu Ming's spirit-devouring bloodline was originally a small snake less than a meter long. At this moment, it was forcefully swollen. Its length had increased by several times, and its thickness had increased by 10 times. The energy was too terrifying. Even if it was only a drop of essence blood, its energy was equivalent to the essence blood of more than 7,000 2nd-layer martial Grandmasters. Refine, refine! Lu Ming roared. He controlled his bloodline with all his strength and crazily refined it. Hoo-hoo! Streams of pure energy flowed into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming continuously circulated the true dragon battle art, absorbing this energy and transforming it into true qi. Lu Ming's cultivation rapidly increased. However, Lu Ming controlled his bloodline. Most of the energy essence was absorbed by his bloodline and used to upgrade his bloodline. Otherwise, the energy would be too huge. Lu Ming would not be able to absorb it all. About 20% of the energy was transformed into true qi. The other 80% was used to upgrade his bloodline. Lu Ming's cultivation rapidly approached the third-layer martial Grandmaster realm. Boom! Half an hour later, Lu Ming's body shook. He had broken through to the third-layer martial Grandmaster realm. After breaking through to the third-layer martial Grandmaster realm, Lu Ming's refining speed increased greatly. The energy was continuously transformed into true qi. Early third-layer martial Grandmaster realm, mid-third-layer martial Grandmaster realm. When he reached the mid-third-layer martial Grandmaster realm, the spirit-devouring bloodline let out a roar, following which the sixth blood-red chakra flashed. The bloodline had upgraded to the 6th grade. With a 6th grade bloodline, the devouring power increased greatly. The refining speed of the blood essence also increased greatly. The body of the spirit-devouring bloodline slowly shrunk. 18 hours later, Ning Kong's drop of blood essence was completely refined. Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the third-layer martial Grandmaster realm. He was only a step away from the fourth-layer martial Grandmaster realm. Of course, this was because most of the essence was used to upgrade his bloodline. This also caused Lu Ming's bloodline to reach the peak of the 6th grade. His 6 chakras were bright and full. It was as if a new chakra could be born at any time. One must know that the higher the grade of the bloodline, the more terrifying the amount of blood essence needed to upgrade. However, this time, Lu Ming's bloodline had increased by 1 grade. One could imagine how terrifying the blood essence of a 9th-layer martial Grandmaster was. Lu Ming opened his eyes and looked at Ning Kong's corpse. He felt that it was a pity. After half a day, the essence of the blood essence in Ning Kong's body had already dissipated. The higher the cultivation of a cultivator, the slower the dissipation of the blood essence after death. However, for a 9th-layer martial Grandmaster expert, it would take at most 3 hours for the essence of the blood essence to dissipate. True qi burst out and Ning Kong's corpse fell down. With 1 less person, the speed of the eagle increased greatly. It quickly chased forward. A few hours later, a black dot could be seen in the distance. It was Lu Yunxiong and the others. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming has caught up. Obviously, Lu Yunxiong had also discovered Lu Ming. He was so frightened that he cried out, "This little bastard still dares to chase after us. Could it be that the power of his beast spirit hasn't dissipated? How is this possible?" The Duanmu clan's elder's face was gloomy. "Lu Yunxiong, I've said that you will die. You can't escape." Lu Ming shouted. His voice was incomparably cold. "What should we do? Elder Chow, what should we do?" Lu Yunxiong was scared out of his wits as he muttered, "Could it be that the power of this little bastard's beast spirit hasn't dissipated? Or perhaps he still has another beast spirit?" The old man of the Duanmu clan, named Duanmu Chow, was constantly thinking. He looked at Lu Ming with fear in his eyes. "Don't worry, we're almost at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. As long as we reach the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, that little bastard Lu Ming won't be able to do anything to us. At that time, the ones who will die won't be us, but him." Duanmu Chow said with a gloomy face. It would take 10 days to reach the Mystic Essence Sword Sect from Firestorm City on the azure-scaled horse. However, it would only take 1 day on the eagle. Chapter 180. Hurry up! Hurry up! Duanmu Chow's vital energy surged into the eagle's body. The eagle screeched as if it had been stimulated by something. It sped up and flew forward. The 2 eagles flew toward the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, one in front and one behind. They were separated by about 10,000 meters. Lu Ming's speed was faster because he had 1 less person. The distance between them was slowly closing. However, it was impossible for him to catch up in a short time. Very quickly, 3 hours passed in a flash. The distance between them was only about 2,000 meters. However, they were already close to the boundary of the mystic essence sword sect. Haha, we're almost there. We're finally there. Lu Ming, you still want to kill me? Dream on. Lu Yunxiong laughed maniacally. However, the murderous intent in Lu Ming's eyes did not diminish. It was extremely strong. Whoosh! Whoosh! Soon, the mountain gate of the mystic essence sword sect was in sight. The eagle screeched as it flew past the mountain gate of the mystic essence sword sect and headed toward the White Tiger Hall. However, Lu Ming did not show any signs of stopping. He continued to chase after it. What's going on? Why isn't Lu Ming stopping? Lu Yunxiong was a little flustered. It's fine. He's just bluffing. When we reach the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming won't dare to do anything. Duanmu Chao said confidently. The two eagles flew past the mountain gate of the mystic essence sword sect, one after another. Who's that on the eagle? The one in front seems to be the chief elder of the White Tiger Hall. The one in the back looks familiar. Wait, Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming? What? Lu Ming. It's really Lu Ming. Oh my God, Lu Ming is not dead. It's really him. Lu Ming is not dead. Suddenly, the entire mystic essence sword sect was in an uproar. The news spread like wildfire. Lu Yunxiong, I don't care where you run to. I'll kill you today. Lu Ming's voice was filled with killing intent as it spread throughout the entire mystic essence sword sect. Not good. Senior brother Lu Ming wants to kill the people of the White Tiger Hall. And from the looks of it, he wants to kill his way to the White Tiger Hall. No! I must tell Peng Shi, Fengwu, and the others about this matter, and let them inform Elder Mullins. Down below, a few disciples of the Vermilion Bird sect were shocked as they ran towards the Vermilion Bird sect. Whoosh! Up ahead, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were riding on the giant eagle as they sped toward the White Tiger courtyard. 1,000 meters behind, Lu Ming was in hot pursuit. Two large eagles, flying above the mystic essence sword sect without any scruples, naturally caused a commotion. Lu Ming didn't die, and he's chasing after the White Tiger Hall's chief elder, saying that he wants to kill Lu Yunxiong. Who is Lu Yunxiong? You're ignorant, aren't you? You should know Duanmu Lin's fiancé, Lu Yao, right? Lu Yunxiong is Lu Yao's father, and I heard that Lu Yao and Lu Ming are from the same clan. I see. But how is it possible that Lu Ming is chasing after the chief elder? I don't know, but something big must be going on. Let's go and take a look. A large group of people gathered below the mystic essence sword sect and headed toward the White Tiger Hall. A few minutes later, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were the first to arrive at the White Tiger Hall. The giant eagle landed on a huge square in the White Tiger Hall. As soon as it landed, the giant eagle started foaming at the mouth and fell to the ground, twitching. Along the way, the giant eagle had been burning its potential and could not hold on any longer. Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao jumped down and stood on the square. Both of them were relieved when they arrived there. Haha, we're finally safe. Lu Yunxiong was ecstatic, but he was still in a state of shock. He was really scared out of his wits by Lu Ming. Don't worry, Lu Ming won't dare to make a move here even if he has 10 guts. I'll report this to the dean, and he'll personally take down Lu Ming. He killed so many people from the Duanmu family, no one can protect him. Duanmu Chao put his hands behind his back and resumed his calm expression. The White Tiger Hall was the headquarters of the Duanmu family. Who would dare to kill someone here? Unless they were tired of living. He was sure that Lu Ming was about to stop. Lu Ming really did stop. He rode the giant eagle and hovered above the square. How dare you, Lu Ming? You killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family, and now you're riding a giant eagle to barge into the White Tiger Hall. You're too audacious and sinful. Now get down here and beg for mercy. Maybe I'll leave your corpse intact. Duanmu Chao reprimanded with his hands behind his back. Haha, Lu Ming, come on. Didn't you say you wanted to kill me? Come down and kill me if you can. Haha. Lu Yunxiong laughed and looked at Lu Ming with disdain. But in the next moment, the smile on his face froze. Lu Ming's figure moved, and he jumped down from the big eagle. With a loud bang, he landed heavily on the square, crushing the stone slabs on the square and sending gravel flying everywhere. I don't need you to shout. I've said that I'll kill you. It doesn't matter where you hide. Lu Ming walked step by step toward Lu Yunxiong. Lu Ming, what are you doing? How dare you? How dare you? This is the White Tiger Hall. Lu Yunxiong's face changed drastically. He couldn't help but step back as he screamed. However, Lu Ming's eyes were as cold as ice. He only said one word. Kill! How arrogant! Man, Lu Ming has killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family. He's gone mad. Attack together and kill him! Duanmu Chao could no longer stay calm and shouted. There were many people from the White Tiger Hall in the square. At that moment, one of them rushed over. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. He's not dead. Who cares if he's dead or not? How dare he kill so many people from the Duanmu family? He's dead for sure now. Attack, kill him. Some of the people who rushed over were silver-ranked disciples from the White Tiger Hall. Some were middle-aged men who were no longer disciples. They had cultivated for many years and had high cultivation levels. Most of them were martial grandmasters. The martial masters did not dare to rush over. Boom! Lu Ming held the demon banishing spear. His aura was wild and his hair fluttered. He shouted coldly, My targets are Lu Yunxiong and Lu Yunxiong. If you don't want to die, scram! How arrogant! Let's see what you've got. You're just the #1 disciple of the bronze rank. You're nothing in my eyes. Some silver-ranked disciples shouted. These people were all 5th-layer martial masters, and there were even 6th-layer martial masters among them. Since that's the case, kill them. Lu Ming's killing intent exploded. The demon-banishing spear shook, and a beast soul merged into his body. The second beast soul was at the pinnacle of the martial ancestor realm. In an instant, Lu Ming's aura rose crazily. He was like a demon. Kill! The long spear swept out, and 100-meter-long spear light appeared. It was as thick as a bucket. Bang! Bang! Dozens of disciples of the White Tiger Hall were swept away. More than a dozen of the weaker ones had their bodies blasted apart. In an instant, more than a dozen martial grandmasters were killed. Hiss! Some of the White Tiger Hall disciples who did not rush over gasped. Their eyeballs almost popped out. One spear, just one spear, killed more than a dozen martial grandmasters and severely injured more. It was too powerful. Audacious! Audacious! Lu Ming killed his fellow disciples. He's going to rebel. A disciple from the White Tiger Hall shouted. I've said it's none of your business. If you don't want to die, scram. Chapter 181. You came to our White Tiger Hall and asked us to leave. How is that possible? Attack! We must take down Lu Ming and punish him severely. The disciples of the White Tiger Hall roared. However, no one was able to get close to him. Lu Ming, how dare you be so arrogant? You will die today. A roar could be heard as 3 figures arrived at the scene. Chief Elder. 3 chief elders, Lu Ming is dead for sure. A disciple of the Duanmu clan yelled, Kuei Fong, you've come at the right time. Attack with me and take down Lu Ming. Duanmu Chao yelled in joy, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming yelled as he charged toward Duanmu Chao. Lu Yunxiong hid behind Duanmu Chao in fear. He had never expected that Lu Ming would really dare to attack the White Tiger Hall. Moreover, he had killed more than 10 great martial masters from the White Tiger Hall. How could he be so bold? At that moment, even in the White Tiger Hall, he could feel a chill running down his spine. When he saw Lu Ming charging toward him, his face turned pale as he frantically retreated. Bang! The spear in Lu Ming's hand turned into a pillar as it lashed toward Duanmu Chao. Damn it! Since Lu Yunxiong was behind him, he could not retreat. He could only brace himself to receive Lu Ming's attack. When his spear collided with Lu Ming's spear, his body trembled as if he had been electrocuted. He was then knocked back a few steps and spat out a mouthful of blood. "Come and help me!" Duanmu Chao yelled in astonishment. "Kill! Kill!" Finally, the 3 chief elders of the White Tiger Hall arrived and unleashed 3 terrifying attacks in Lu Ming's direction. Following this, Duanmu Chao also charged toward Lu Ming. 4 ninth-layer martial grandmasters surrounded Lu Ming. Lu Ming let out a roar as he fought against the 4 ninth-layer martial grandmasters. His aura swept in all directions, causing the entire square to turn chaotic. Lu Ming was fighting 1 against 4 and was not at a disadvantage at all. At that moment, even more people had arrived. Not only were there disciples from the White Tiger Hall, but there were also disciples from other halls. When they saw this scene, everyone's jaws dropped as they stared at the scene in disbelief. Lu Ming was actually able to fight against 4 elders of the 9th level of the Martial Master Realm. This was simply unbelievable. The news regarding Lu Ming's visit to the White Tiger sect spread like wildfire to the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Vermilion Bird Courtyard, Lu Ming's dormitory. At this time in the courtyard, Pang Shi, Mulins, and Fengwu were sitting together. Their faces were heavy, as if they were thinking about something. "It's all my fault. I should have followed senior brother Lu Ming and the others when they went after the Dongyi tribe. It's all my fault." Pang Shi clenched his fists tightly, the veins on his arms bulging as he said in pain. "Big Stone, don't be silly. This has nothing to do with you. With your cultivation, how could you have gone with them? You don't have to blame yourself," Feng Wu said. However, from her pained expression, it could be seen that she felt extremely uncomfortable in her heart. Lu Ming, did he really fall just like that? Feng Wu sighed in his heart. When the plane collapses, even a martial ancestor would not be able to escape death, let alone Lu Ming. Sigh. I don't want to believe it either. Mulin sighed. Her eyes were filled with grief and sorrow. Lu Ming, could it be that you only have this little bit of luck? Are you going to leave just like that? Originally, I thought you would grow into a powerhouse. Also, I still owe you a reward. How can you leave just like that? Mulins thought in her heart. Also, Mulins clenched her teeth as mist filled her eyes. A while ago, the sect had already informed Lu Ming's family. As far as I know, Lu Ming's only close relative is his mother. It can be said that Lu Ming is his mother's only hope and support. Feng Wu said. The moment he said that, the atmosphere became even more solemn. Why don't we go to senior brother Lu Ming's house together and take a look at Lu Ming's mother, so that she won't be too sad? Pang Shi suggested. I think so too. We'll stay in the Lu family for a while and accompany Lu Ming's mother. Feng Wu also nodded. Then we'll set off tomorrow morning. Mulin said. At this moment, the door to the courtyard was pushed open heavily. 2 youths ran in while panting heavily. Pang Shi, Elder Mulins, it's great that you're all here. Something big has happened. A skinny young man with a head full of sweat said. Niu Huan, why are the 2 of you in such a hurry? What happened to make the 2 of you so anxious? Feng Wu asked with a frown. These 2 youths were disciples of the same batch as Lu Ming and were very familiar with Pang Shi and the others. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming, he's back. Niu Huan gasped for breath and shouted. Bang, bang, bang. With that said, Mulin's, Feng Wu, and the other 2's auras burst out uncontrollably. At the same time, they jumped up from their seats as if they had been electrocuted. You, what did you say? Senior brother Lu Ming is back? Which Lu Ming? Pang Shi stared with his eyes wide open, almost roaring out. Mulins and the others also stared at Niu Huan with their eyes wide open. Their eyes flickered with an indescribable hope. Of course, it's senior brother Lu Ming, senior brother Lu Ming, who is ranked first on the bronze list. Niu Huan seemed to be infected by their expressions, and also roared. Senior brother Lu Ming. Haha, is it really senior brother Lu Ming? Niu Huan, are you sure you didn't see wrongly? Pang Shi laughed out loud and grabbed Niu Huan's shoulder tightly. Of course I didn't see wrongly. Not only did the two of us see it, many other senior and junior brothers also saw it. The other youth also said, Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Mulin's clenched her fists tightly as she muttered under her breath. Her tall and straight twin peaks were constantly moving up and down as her beautiful eyes flickered with extreme surprise. Lu Ming is not dead. This is a joyous occasion. Niu Huan, why are you shouting that something bad is going to happen? Feng Wu took a few deep breaths, calmed himself down, and asked. Senior brother Lu Ming. He is charging towards the White Tiger Hall. Niu Huan called out. What? Mulin's and the other two turned pale with fright. What's going on with the White Tiger Hall? Mulin's asked anxiously. I don't know, we only saw senior brother Lu Ming riding on a huge eagle, chasing after elder Duanmu Chao of the White Tiger Hall, and a person called Lu Yunxiong. I only heard senior brother Lu Ming roar that he must kill Lu Yunxiong, while Duanmu Chao roared that senior brother Lu Ming had killed dozens of experts from the Duanmu family. Later on, senior brother Lu Ming and the others went to the White Tiger Hall while we rushed back. Niu Huan said, Lu Yunxiong? Not good. Could it be that something happened to the Lu family? Lu Yunxiong knows that Lu Ming has fallen and wants to take action against the Lu family? Mulin's face suddenly changed. Back then, she had stayed in the Wind and Fire City for a long time, so she was very familiar with the Lu family's matters. Not good. Something must have happened to the Lu family. With Lu Ming's personality, he will definitely kill Lu Yunxiong, but if he goes to the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming will definitely die. I will immediately find grandfather to save him. Mulin's expression was extremely ugly. After saying that, she rushed out and disappeared in a flash. Let's go to the White Tiger Hall. Chapter 182. Apart from Mulin's and the rest, many other disciples and elders of the four great halls also rushed to the White Tiger Hall after hearing the news. On the square of the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming and the four elders had exchanged more than 10 blows. Lu Ming's aura was like a demon, and he was getting stronger and stronger as the battle went on. The more he fought, the better he was at using the power of the beast spirits. Boom! He pulled out his spear, and one of the elders was sent flying while coughing out blood. Those who stand in my way shall die. Lu Ming roared and shot out several spear rays that seemed to be able to pierce through space. Bam, bam, bam. The remaining 3 elders were sent flying while coughing out blood. Lu Yunxiong, it's your turn. Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at Lu Yunxiong. His target had always been Lu Yunxiong from the beginning. No, save me. Lu Yunxiong's expression changed drastically as he frantically ran backward. At the same time, he screamed, Stop him, Lu Yunxiong is young Master Lin's father-in-law. We can't let him die. Duanmu Chao and the other 3 elders roared and pounced at Lu Ming. Violent attacks surrounded Lu Ming's back. If Lu Ming killed Lu Yunxiong, he would be killed too. Lu Ming's eyes flashed fiercely as he roared, Then I'll kill you first. Whoosh! Lu Ming turned around and stabbed his spear behind him. The spear was as fast as lightning. Everyone only saw a flash of light in the air. Poochie! Blood splattered everywhere, followed by a roar of anger and despair. The spear pierced through Duanmu Chao's abdomen. The abdomen was not a vital point, and Duanmu Chao was not dead yet. No, don't kill me. If you kill me, you'll die too. Duanmu Chao screamed in horror. You're still saying that even now? What a joke! Lu Ming's eyes were cold. His spear trembled and a powerful force erupted. Duanmu Chao screamed in agony as his body was torn into pieces. blood, organs, and bones scattered on the ground. Boom! Then the spear light exploded and collided with the other 3 chief elders. Amidst the violent explosion, Lu Ming and the 3 chief elders hurriedly retreated. However, the direction in which Lu Ming was retreating was the direction in which Lu Yunxiong was running. Lu Yunxiong saw that Duanmu Chao had been blasted into pieces by a single shot, and Lu Ming was rushing towards him. He was even more frightened as he screamed repeatedly, "Evil creature, you are courting death." Suddenly, a furious roar came from the sky. It was an old man in a silver robe. His killing intent was incomparably sharp as he flew over from the distance. "Silver-robed elder, my Duanmu clan's silver-robed elder has arrived. Haha, Lu Ming is dead for sure. Lu Ming, that bastard, he must have fused with a powerful beast soul. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such strong battle prowess. But no matter how strong he is, facing the silver-robed elder, he will be killed with one slap." The disciples of the White Tiger Hall shouted. The silver-robed elder could only be a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert was also known as a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert could already establish a sect and was extremely powerful. Before he arrived, an extremely terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Boom! Following that, the silver-robed elder blasted out a palm across the air. A powerful and terrifying palm print blasted towards Lu Ming. Wild winds howled as the palm print shook the heavens. A mountain-like pressure acted on Lu Ming's body, causing Lu Ming's body to be unable to move. Is this the strength of a martial ancestor realm expert? He is much stronger than a martial grandmaster realm expert. Block it, I must block it. Ancient shield. Lu Ming roared in his heart. The beast soul energy in his body circulated wildly. An ancient shield condensed and floated in front of Lu Ming. The shield condensed from the beast soul energy was more solid than before. It gave off an even more desolate and ancient feeling. At the same time, Lu Ming's long spear stabbed out crazily. In an instant, hundreds of powerful spear radiances blasted forward. Boom! The silver-robed elder's palm print finally blasted out. Bang! Bang! In an instant, Lu Ming's spear radiances were shattered one by one. They exploded in the air like balls of fireworks. The hundreds of spear radiances were swept away. The palm print continued to move forward. Lu Ming used the high air steps and quickly retreated. However, he was still hit by the palm print. Clang! The ancient shield made a melodious, vibrating sound. The shield shook violently, and in the next moment, it exploded with a loud bang. However, this was an Earth realm martial skill after all. Moreover, it was operated by the beast soul energy. Compared to the shield condensed from his true chi, its defensive ability was much stronger. Although it was shattered, it still offset most of the palm power. However, the remaining palm power was still very strong. Lu Ming blocked with his long spear. With a loud bang, his body was pushed back more than 100 meters, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. A long gully appeared under his feet. However, he still managed to block it. Hiss! The sound of people inhaling cold air could be heard continuously. Lu Ming could block the palm of the silver-robed elder head-on and not die. How could this be possible? This was a martial grandmaster. Even if there were 100 martial grandmasters at level 9, they would not be a match for a martial grandmaster at level 1. However, Lu Ming blocked it. Unbelievable. Bang! At this moment, the silver-robed elder jumped down from the sky and stomped heavily on the ground. The ground exploded with a loud bang, and a large pit appeared. He was an old man in his 60s with white hair and beard. At this moment, his eyes were full of killing intent and a hint of surprise. He carefully looked at Lu Ming and sneered. "It turns out that you have merged with a powerful beast soul. No wonder you can block my palm print. Get out of my way. I want Lu Yunxiong." Today I will kill him." Lu Ming said coldly. The surrounding people were shocked again. What did it mean to be audacious? This was how he dared to say such words in front of a martial grandmaster. "Stupid," someone scolded coldly. "Ha ha ha." The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family laughed loudly and then scolded. "Now, kneel down and destroy your own cultivation. Wait for your punishment." The silver-robed elder stood between Lu Ming and Lu Yunxiong. His aura erupted, and he stood there like a mountain. Lu Ming was under great pressure. "It seems that I can only use my last move." Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of madness. If he was going to go crazy, he would go crazy until the end. He decided to merge with the half of the Monster King's soul. However, the Monster King's soul contained a terrifying amount of energy. With his current cultivation, he would probably explode. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, which had been upgraded to level 6, he was not confident. However, there was no way out now. Even if he retreated, the Duanmu family would not let him go. Only by fighting could he pave a way out. "It seems that you are not willing to? Since you're so stubborn, then let me deal with you, you disgraceful little bastard." The silver-robed elder shouted and threw another palm print at Lu Ming. The power of this palm print was stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. Obviously, he had not used his full strength in the previous palm print. "Come on then. Let me see how powerful a martial grandmaster is." The madness in Lu Ming's eyes intensified, and there was a strong determination in them. "Beast soul merge. Howl!" A giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky like the king of all monsters. A terrifying aura spread out. Monster King, the Monster King's soul. Chapter 183. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, his voice shaking the entire White Tiger Institute. Everyone was shocked to the extreme. Their eyes widened as they stared blankly at the giant silver wolf above Lu Ming's head. Heavens, that's the soul of a demon king? Everyone sucked in a mouthful of cold air. A demon king. What kind of existence was that? If it was alive, it could destroy a sect like the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. It was extremely powerful. With a wave of its hand, it could split a river and split a mountain. It had the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. How did Lu Ming obtain the soul of such an existence? Lu Ming, are you trying to merge with the Demon King's soul? Are you crazy? You're courting death. How can you merge with the Demon King's soul? The silver-robed elder roared. Merge. However, Lu Ming's gaze was firm as he uttered a single word. Roar. The giant silver wolf howled as it charged into Lu Ming's body. Roar. At that instant, Lu Ming let out a furious roar as the aura on his body surged. With a flash of light, the silver-robed elder's palm was shattered. Following that, a dazzling white light overflowed from Lu Ming's body. Even his hair turned silver white. His silver-white hair danced in the wind. At that moment, Lu Ming looked like a powerful demon. Kill! Lu Ming roared as he thrust out his spear. A silver-white spear radiance burst out. His target was the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family. His speed was unimaginably fast. Why didn't you explode? The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared in disbelief. How could a mere second-grade martial master withstand the power of the Demon King's soul? However, he did not know that Lu Ming was able to withstand the power of the Demon King's soul because of his spirit-devouring bloodline. However, even so, the pressure that Lu Ming was under was still unimaginable. The power of the Demon King's soul was too strong. Although it was only half a Demon King, it allowed Lu Ming's power to increase rapidly. He broke through the martial arts Great Master rank in one fell swoop, allowing Lu Ming to temporarily have the ability to compete with a martial arts Great Master. But this tyrannical power caused Lu Ming's body to suffer quite a bit of damage. His bones were groaning as if they would break at any moment. If I don't kill Lu Yunxiong, How could I possibly explode? Since you want to stop me, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming let out a long roar, his aura surging like a rainbow. His figure flashed, stepping into the air and charging towards the silver-robed elder. So what if you fused with the beast soul? Do you really think you can contend against me? I will let you know how naive you are. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, exploding with all his strength. At this moment, the entire square was shrouded in an indescribable pressure. Boom! The two figures clashed in the air, resulting in a shocking explosion. Bang! Following that, a figure frantically retreated. Silver-robed elder. It was that silver-robed elder. First layer martial ancestor realm. SOSO. Lu Ming burst out laughing as his aura became even more terrifying. With a kick, his figure transformed into a silver ray as he charged at the silver-robed elder. At that instant, the silver-robed elder wore an unpleasant expression. Fusing with the beast soul, he had only read about it in ancient records. He did not expect it to be this powerful, to the extent that even his cultivation of the first-layer martial ancestor realm was no match for it. Hold him off. I just need to hold him off for some time. When the other experts of the White Tiger sect arrive, Lu Ming will surely die. The silver-robed elder quickly thought of this before he clenched his teeth and charged at Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! Following a series of explosions, the crowd could only see two glowing figures colliding with one another in midair, resulting in a series of explosions and shockwaves. Shush! After more than 10 exchanges, a figure was sent flying a few hundred meters backward, leaving a trail of light behind him. As the light dissipated, the crowd could see the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family standing in midair, trembling while vomiting blood. His eyes were filled with astonishment. The crowd on the square could not describe their current feelings. It was too shocking. Lu Ming had managed to injure a martial ancestor. Unbelievable, absolutely terrifying. Although it took a long time to describe, it had only taken place in the span of a few breaths. How could this be? How could this be? At the edge of the square, Lu Yunxiong trembled in fear and almost burst into tears. Initially, he thought he was safe after seeing the silver-robed elder, as Lu Ming would not be able to do anything to him. However, after Lu Ming had merged with the beast soul, he managed to injure the silver-robed elder and almost scared him to death. Run, we have to run. Lu Ming, this bastard is too evil. Lu Yunxiong let out a roar in his heart as he turned around and ran toward the peak of the White Tiger sect. Lu Yunxiong, you won't be able to run away. Lu Ming's cold voice could be heard. With a flicker, he appeared above Lu Yunxiong's head in the blink of an eye. AH! Lu Yunxiong screamed and jumped 3 zhan high. He quickly turned around and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out and clenched his fist. A silver palm appeared out of thin air and grabbed at Lu Yunxiong. Lu Yunxiong could not resist and was caught by the silver palm. AH! No, don't kill me. Help, help. Lu Yunxiong's face was flushed red as he tried to prick himself with needles. He screamed crazily. Lu Ming, let go of him. Do you know who he is? He is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law. If you kill him, you will be in big trouble. Do you know that? The silver-robed elder from the Duanmu family flew over and shouted, Big trouble? Just because he is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law? What a joke! Lu Ming smiled coldly. Then he exerted force in his hand. Cracking sounds came from Lu Yunxiong's body as countless bones were crushed. Lu Yunxiong screamed in agony. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. I am your elder. Lu Yunxiong screamed. Bullshit! Lu Ming shouted coldly, his gaze cold. Father! At that moment, an anxious voice came from the sky. Then, a stream of light flew over from afar. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he looked at the stream of light. There were 2 figures in the stream of light. One of them was Lu Yao. The other person was a young man who was about 17 or 18 years old. He was wearing a black suit and had a handsome and cold face. There was a terrifying aura around him. Martial ancestor. The young man, who looked like he was about 17 or 18 years old, was a martial ancestor realm expert. Duan Mulin, that is Duan Mulin. Oh my God, he is flying in the air. Martial ancestor realm. Duan Mulin has broken through to the martial ancestor realm. It's true, it's true. Duan Mulin is only 18 years old. An 18-year-old martial ancestor. This is too terrifying. There are only a few people like him in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Lu Ming is done for. The onlookers could not help but shout when they saw the young man. Duan Mulin? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Yao! Say father, say father. Lu Ming is going to kill me. Lu Yunxiong shouted desperately when he heard Lu Yao's voice. It was as if he was grasping at straws. Whoosh! Chapter 184. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Let him go? Do you think that's possible? You're as naive as before. Lu Ming said with a smile. Lu Ming, you went to the White Tiger Institute and killed their disciples for no reason. Now, you're trying to kill my father. Do you know what crime you've committed? Let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Crime? What a joke! Lu Yunxiong and the Duanmu clan killed the people of the Lu clan for no reason. They even tried to kill my mother. What crime am I guilty of? Lu Ming retorted. What? Lu Yao was shocked. Obviously, she did not know that Lu Yunxiong had gone to the Lu clan. However, she quickly regained her composure and said coldly, I don't care. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Ming, I'm begging you. Please let me go. It's my fault. Please have mercy on me. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Clearly he was truly afraid. Have mercy? Haha, Lu Yunxiong, what a joke. Did you show mercy to the core elder of the Lu clan? If I didn't make it in time, would you have shown mercy to my mother? Lu Ming's voice became colder. Lu Ming, let me give you a piece of advice. You'd better let him go and kneel down to admit your guilt. This is your best choice. Otherwise, I, Duan Mulin, will say that no one can save you. Duan Mulin placed his hands behind his back and said coldly. His aura was terrifying. There was a haughty look on his face. No one in this world can save me? Who do you think you are? There are so many geniuses in this world. Do you think you're the best just because you have a little bit of cultivation? You're just a frog in the well. Lu Ming looked at Duan Mulin and scolded him. The people around them were dumbfounded. Lu Ming said that Duan Mulin was a frog in the well? They were confused. What did you say? Duan Mulin's face darkened. Nonsense. I'll kill Lu Yunxiong right now. Let's see what you can do to me. Lu Ming berated. Then he looked at Lu Yunxiong and sneered. All right, Lu Yunxiong, I'll send you on your way now. No, don't. Lu Ming, don't. I don't want to die. Save me. Lu Yunxiong screamed crazily. His eyes were filled with fear and hesitation. No. Lu Yao shouted. How dare you? Duan Mulin berated. Bang. Lu Ming sneered and clenched his fist. The silver palm suddenly closed, and with a bang, Lu Yunxiong was struck by an enormous force and exploded. Lu Yunxiong was dead. Father! Lu Yao screamed. Then she looked at Lu Ming and shouted crazily, Lu Ming, I want you to die a horrible death! Boom! Duan Mulin's aura became even more violent. His face was incomparably gloomy, and the killing intent emanating from him seemed to have materialized. Lu Ming, you've made a very foolish choice. Duan Mulin's voice was cold. With a wave of his hand, Lu Yao fell to the ground. Die! Then Duan Mulin shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming also shouted and charged toward Duan Mulin. They are fighting. Duan Mulin and Lu Ming are fighting. Someone shouted excitedly. Duan Mulin was an unparalleled genius with extraordinary talent. He had awakened his bloodline at a very young age and was invincible. Among his peers, no one was a match for him. He suppressed geniuses with special bloodlines and was known as one of the 4 great geniuses of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Moreover, he was ranked first among the 4 great geniuses. He had too many honors in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and was believed to be a genius who could surpass Feng Wuji in the near future. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had only joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect for slightly more than a year. However, he had created miracles one after another. The newcomer king, first on the bronze list in his first year, had comprehended force when he was only a martial master. Now he had charged into the White Tiger Hall for his family. He was a lawless person. Now that the 2 of them were facing each other, everyone's attention was drawn to them. Among them, who would win? Everyone stared fixedly at him. Boom! Finally, the 2 of them collided in the air. Silver and black lights shone in the air and occupied the entire sky. Whoosh! Whoosh! Then, the 2 of them flew back a few hundred meters. He's much stronger than the silver-robed elder. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Duanmu Lin had just broken through to the martial ancestor realm, but his combat strength was much stronger than an ordinary first-stage martial ancestor realm. He was much stronger than an ordinary expert of the same level. Duanmu Lin was also shocked. Then kill! Kill! The 2 of them charged forward at the same time. Terrifying attacks rained down on his opponent in a frenzy. Boom! Boom! In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged more than 10 blows. Roar! Suddenly, a black leopard appeared. Its body was covered in lightning and it had a horn on its head. It stood on top of Duanmu Lin's head. Bloodline. That's Duanmu Lin's bloodline. It's a 7th grade bloodline. It said that it has the bloodline of a dragon and is extremely powerful. Someone shouted. Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmu Lin unleashed his bloodline and roared. He slashed with his saber and endless saber radiance appeared, forming a sun. The sun floated in the air and its power was immeasurable. It was accompanied by terrifying saber radiance that blasted toward Lu Ming. Earth grade martial skill. It's an Earth grade martial skill. Someone shouted. Silver Wolf, Howling Moon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he let out a loud roar like a wolf king. Then a giant silver wolf appeared. The giant wolf was as big as a mountain and it held at the sky. Then a full moon appeared above the silver wolf's mouth. The full moon emitted endless radiance and blasted toward Duanmu Lin. This was the Silver Wolf Demon King's superpower. It was contained in the beast's soul, and Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The sun and the full moon met in the sky, and there was an explosion of endless air waves. Heaven and earth were in chaos, and energy waves were shooting everywhere. Between the sun and the full moon, a beam of light shot up to the sky, and a big hole appeared in the clouds. Everyone looked at the sky, dumbfounded. They looked at the sun and the full moon and the 2 young men. Break! Duanmu Lin roared. You're still far from it. I'll break you. Roar! Lu Ming howled like a wolf. The silver radiance on his body was so dense that it seemed to have materialized. Sizzle, sizzle. The pressure on Lu Ming's body was getting stronger and stronger. It began to make sizzling sounds. Lu Ming's entire body was in excruciating pain. Fine blood beads even seeped out of the pores all over his body. However, Lu Ming didn't care at all and crazily activated the power of the beast's soul. Roar! In the sky, the silver wolf that was as large as a mountain howled. The light of the full moon became even more resplendent. Boom! The sun was suppressed and its radiance dimmed rapidly. It was on the verge of collapse. Rumble! Following that, there was a rumbling sound as the sun began to tremble rapidly. Then it exploded with a loud bang. Duanmu Lin's body shook violently and he fell to the ground like a cannonball. At the same time, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Duanmu Lin was injured and defeated. Chapter 185. Duanmu Lin, the peerless genius had already broken through to the martial ancestor realm. However, he was still defeated by Lu Ming and spat out blood. Although Lu Ming had merged with the spirit of the King of Beasts instead of his own strength, it was still shocking enough. It was a miracle to be able to merge with the spirit of the King of Beasts. Ordinary people would not be able to do it. What peerless genius! You're just a short-sighted kid with some achievements. I'll kill you now. Lu Ming let out a roar as he charged toward Duanmu Lin while his body was covered in a silver glow. The crowd was dumbfounded. He was audacious. He was really audacious. Lu Ming actually wanted to kill Duanmu Lin. Everyone knew that Duanmu Lin was the hope of the Duanmu clan. He was the hope for the rise of the Duanmu clan. It would be fine if Duanmu Lin was killed, as there would still be some time left. However, if Duanmu Lin was killed, the Duanmu clan would not rest until one of them was dead. However, Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He was determined to kill Duanmu Lin. Bang! The silver moon emitted a brilliant glow. Each ray of light was like a spear glow that charged toward Duanmu Lin. Lu Ming, don't you dare! The elder in a silver robe from the Duanmu clan dashed toward Lu Ming without caring about his injuries. A brilliant saber glow was unleashed, but it dissipated as soon as it came into contact with the light of the moon. The elder in a silver robe could not withstand the attack and was knocked backward while spitting out blood. Lu Ming continued to charge toward Duanmu Lin. Beast, how bold! At that instant, a loud roar could be heard from the heavens and earth. The roar caused the heavens and earth to tremble as a powerful pressure burst out from the sky. Many disciples of the 4 academies with weaker cultivation spat out blood and fell to the ground with pale faces. Following this, the clouds in the sky rumbled as a giant hand reached out from the clouds and grabbed at Lu Ming. It's the chief of the White Tiger Institute. Someone yelled. Bang! The dean of the White Tiger Institute was too powerful. Although he was also a martial ancestor, he was much stronger than the silver-robed elder and Duanmu Lin. The giant hand was still high up in the air. It trembled slightly, and an inconceivably powerful force appeared and blasted towards Lu Ming. Bang! The silver full moon was like a bubble, dissipating without a sound. The giant silver wolf roared angrily, but it was also defeated. Lu Ming's body shook violently. He spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated madly. However, the giant palm did not stop there. It continued to press down on Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming was completely enveloped by the giant palm, and it was difficult for him to escape. Duanmu Pujuan, as the headmaster of the academy, you actually made a move against a junior disciple. Do you have no fucking shame? At this moment, a furious roar came from the south. At the same time, a sword light instantly traversed the void and slashed towards the giant hand. The sword light and the giant hand collided with each other. Like a hot knife through butter, the giant hand was crushed into pieces. Then, the sword light continued to fly toward the clouds in the sky. Yanlan! A furious roar came from the clouds. Then, a terrifying saber light flashed past. Boom! Energy swept out and the clouds dissipated, revealing a figure inside. It was the headmaster of the White Tiger Academy, Duanmu Pujuan. A figure appeared in the south. It was the headmaster of the Vermilion Bird Academy, Yanlan. The 2 headmasters faced each other from a distance. Their auras intersected, and a huge pressure spread out between heaven and earth. Lu Ming, bastard, I'm going to kill you. Below, Duanmu Lin roared. His long hair danced in the wind. His aura was like a demon, and his killing intent was so dense that it was tangible. He was actually injured by Lu Ming in front of everyone. This was a great humiliation to him. He must kill Lu Ming with his saber. Roar! An earth-shattering roar came out. Duanmu Lin's body emitted an extremely dense blood-red light. Then, a flood dragon rushed out from Duanmu Lin's body. This flood dragon was more than 10 meters long and had a slender body. It had 4 claws on its abdomen, and its body was covered with black scales. Lightning constantly flowed on the scales, and a king-like aura spread out. The most eye-catching thing was that there were 2 chakras on the black flood dragon's body. These chakras were not blood red, but silver. 2 silver chakras. Almost everyone at the scene was stunned. Then they shouted, "King grade bloodline, this is a king grade bloodline." Moreover, it's a grade 2 king grade bloodline. Duanmu Lin's second awakening is actually a grade 2 king grade bloodline. This is too shocking. Monster, there's hope for a martial king in the future. Most of the people could not help but shout. When a martial artist broke through from the martial master realm to the martial ancestor realm, there would be a nirvana process. During this process, one could awaken a second bloodline and awaken a second type of bloodline. Generally speaking, the second awakening of a bloodline's grade would be higher than the first awakening. As for whether the grade was higher or lower, it was completely uncertain. It depended on one's potential and accumulation. This was a real nirvana. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was not high enough, but they could awaken an extremely high-grade bloodline in the second awakening. From then on, they would soar into the sky and become a world-renowned expert. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was very high, but the second awakening of a bloodline might only be 1 grade higher than the first. In that case, they would slowly be overtaken by others. Generally speaking, grade 9 bloodlines had another name, which was mortal grade bloodline. Mortal grade bloodline's chakras were blood red. Above mortal grade bloodline, there was another grade of bloodline, which was called king grade bloodline. King grade bloodline was also divided into 9 grades. The chakras were silver, which was much stronger than mortal grade bloodline. Mortal grade bloodline could not compare to king grade bloodline in terms of cultivation speed or the increase in combat strength. It was said that there was another type of bloodline above king grade bloodline, which was called god grade bloodline. However, this grade of bloodline was only a legend and was rarely seen in the world. Duanmu Lin's second awakening of a bloodline was a grade 2 king grade bloodline, which was shocking. One should know that most people's second awakening of a bloodline was only a grade 9 mortal grade bloodline. Those who could awaken a king grade bloodline were few and far between. Duanmu Lin's king grade bloodline had raised his aura to the peak. Great sun thunder's saber cut. Duanmu Lin roared. His saber cut through the void, and endless saber radiance condensed into a sun. This sun was twice as strong as the previous one. Silver Wolf howls at the moon. Lu Ming roared and unleashed the beast soul power in his body to the extreme. Another giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky. A silver full moon appeared, which was brighter than the previous one. Boom! Once again, the sun and the moon collided in the sky. Endless light filled the air, and the space trembled as if it was about to explode. Kill! Kill! Duanmu Lin roared crazily as his violent genuine qi surged out. However, Lu Ming also unleashed the beast soul power to the extreme. Crack! 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 Lu Ming's body kept emitting sounds like beans being fried. His bones were trembling and his muscles were wriggling. Blood was seeping out of his pores. Chapter 186. Devour! Lu Ming controlled his bloodline with all his might and devoured the tearing force. The terrifying devouring force covered his entire body and prevented him from exploding from the beast soul's power. However, after a series of battles, Lu Ming's body was still severely injured. The rumbling continued as the sun and moon reflected each other in the sky. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the 2 young men in the sky. The 2 deans of the White Tiger Hall and Vermilion Bird Hall were confronting each other, and no one could interfere. Swoosh! Swoosh! In the sky, There were flashes of light as silver-robed elders appeared one after another. At first, it was the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall. Soon, the silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Hall, Azure Dragon Hall, and Black Tortoise Hall appeared in the sky. There were more than 20 silver-robed elders of the 4 halls. Boom! At this moment, the sun and moon in the sky suddenly collapsed and dissipated into energy. Kill! Kill! The 2 of them roared in unison as their killing intent surged like a tide and pounced towards each other. The saber aura and spear aura swept across the sky and tore through the air. The 2 of them continued to fight in the sky, and the battle was extremely intense. Below, Lu Yao looked at the sky in a daze as her eyes were filled with disbelief. Lu Ming, the previously weak and sickly trash who couldn't cultivate, had actually grown to this stage? She couldn't accept it and couldn't accept it. He's just relying on external forces. He can't be compared to Brother Lin. Brother Lin is 100 times, no, 1,000 times stronger than him. Lu Yao kept reminding herself in her heart. Lu Ming, senior brother Lu Ming. At this moment, Mu Lin's, Feng Wu, Pang Shi, and the rest rushed over. Soon after, more people rushed over after receiving the news. For example, Zhang Muyun, Duangang, and the rest. After rushing over, they stood at the side and looked at the sky in shock. In the sky, Lu Ming and Duan Mulin had exchanged more than 100 blows, but it was still difficult to determine the victor. Let's attack together and kill that little bastard Lu Ming. He killed dozens of our Duanmu clan's experts. A silver-robed elder of the Duanmu clan roared. Who dares? Yan Lan shouted as his sword aura soared into the sky. The other silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird courtyard also unleashed their auras and rushed forward. Yan Lan, Lu Ming massacred the elders of the same sect. How dare you shield him? Duanmu Pajuan shouted loudly. We haven't figured out the cause of this matter yet. I believe that Lu Ming wouldn't do such a thing casually. There must be a reason behind it. Yan Lan didn't give in at all. I don't care what the reason is. It's a fact that Lu Ming massacred his fellow disciples. It's a fact that he killed my Duanmu clan. That's enough. He must die today. Duanmu Pujuan's voice was incomparably cold. Then why don't you try? Yan Lan coldly shouted. Both sides faced each other, and it seemed like an intense battle was about to break out. Enough! At this moment, a calm voice sounded from the depths of the mystic essence, Sword Sect. Sect leader. The expressions of Yan Lan, Duanmu Pujuan, and those silver-robed elders changed. Whoosh! Whoosh! 4 beams of light tore through the void and appeared above the square in an instant. For figures emerged. The person in the lead was the Mystic Essence Sword Sect Master, Lin Shui. Behind him were 3 old men in golden robes. They were all golden-robed elders. The moment the Mystic Essence Sword Sect Master appeared, he frowned and waved his hand. A gentle force was generated and surged towards Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin, who were fighting. Their attacks dissipated into nothingness, and their bodies seemed to be pushed back by something, retreating backwards. Sect leader, please don't stop me. Let me kill this bastard. Duanmu Lin roared, and his body was filled with killing intent. You're an arrogant and self-righteous piece of trash. Do you think I'm afraid of you? It's not certain who will kill who. Do you really think you're a genius? In my eyes, you're just a piece of trash. Lu Ming coldly retorted. Bastard, smash it. I'm going to kill you. Duanmu Lin roared. Enough! The Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader shouted again. This shout didn't seem heavy, but it reverberated in Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin's ears like thunder. Their expressions changed, and they didn't say anything. Sect leader, you've come at the right time. Lu Ming, this bastard, first killed dozens of people from the Duanmu clan. Then he dared to kill his way into the White Tiger Hall. In front of everyone, he killed dozens of martial grandmasters and even the chief elder. Such a rebellious and crazy person must die. I beg the sect leader to let me kill him personally. Duanmu Pajuan bowed to the sect leader and said, Duanmu Pajuan, don't accuse me. I said, let's find out the reason first. Yanlan also cupped his fists and looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, tell me what is going on. Didn't you kill dozens of people from the Duanmu clan before? The before that Yanlan mentioned was obviously before they came to the White Tiger Hall. That's right. Lu Ming admitted it directly. Duanmu Pajuan was overjoyed and Yanlan was shocked. Mulins and the others revealed anxious expressions. Duanmu Pajuan said, Sect leader, look, Lu Ming admitted it himself. I did admit it, but why don't you ask me where I killed them? Lu Ming sneered. I don't care where you killed them. It's a fact that you killed people from the Duanmu clan. Ha. Lu Ming sneered and ignored Duanmu Pajuan. He said, It was in my clan, the Lu clan. Under the leadership of Lu Yunxiong, the people of the Duanmu clan slaughtered people from the Lu clan. They even wanted to kill my mother. Let me ask you, should these people be killed? Lu Ming didn't speak to the people of the Duanmu clan. Instead, he spoke to the other people from the 4 great halls and the sect leader. What? There was such a thing? Everyone was shocked, and they all looked at Duanmu Pajuan. Damn it, Duanmu Pajuan, your Duanmu clan has such great power. You actually killed the family of a disciple without permission. You're worse than a beast. If it were me, I would also kill them. Yanlan's hair stood on end as he glared at Duanmu Pajuan. Nonsense, Lu Ming, you're talking nonsense. You slandered my Duanmu clan. You deserve to die. Duanmu Pajuan shouted angrily. Slandered? The corpses of your Duanmu clan disciples are still lying in my Lu clan. Do you want to go and take a look? Lu Ming mocked. Duanmu Pajuan's face was a little ugly as he said, Even if there was such a thing, it's possible that they heard the rumors and were bewitched. You should have returned to the sect and reported the situation. The sect would naturally investigate. However, you acted on your own and killed them. Your intentions are terrible. Ha. After hearing this, Lu Ming laughed loudly. He then said, Duanmu Pajuan, what you mean is that you want me to ignore the life and death of my family first, and let your Duanmu clan people kill my Lu clan people and kill my mother. Then I will return to report to the sect and make a decision. Has your head been kicked by a donkey? Or is your IQ so low? Lu Ming's voice, which was filled with disdain, was like a storm that spread throughout the entire place. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming actually dared to scold Duanmu Pajuan. He said that Duanmu Pajuan's head had been kicked by a donkey. Wasn't he too daring? Little bastard, what did you say? Chapter 187. Ha. Well scolded, well scolded. This old man's head has already been kicked by a donkey. Yanlan laughed. Sect leader, you have seen it too. This kid has no respect for his elders. It is obvious that his character is low. Letting him live in this world is a disaster. Today we must kill him. Duanmu Pajuan said to the sect leader. The sect leader of the mystic essence, Sword Sect, frowned. Lu Ming was undoubtedly a top genius. How could he say that he wanted to kill him? However, if he didn't kill him, how could he explain to the Duanmu family? Sect leader Lu Ming killed 35 martial master experts and 15 great martial masters from the White Tiger Yard. There was even a chief elder who was a 9th grade martial master. These people were all elites of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. They gave their all for the sect. Yet, they died in the hands of a junior disciple. If we don't kill Lu Ming, I'm afraid we will be disappointed. That's right. Sect leader, even if those people were wrong, the martial grandmasters behind them were just guarding the White Tiger Hall and protecting the sect. What wrong did they do? Yet they were killed mercilessly. Lu Ming must be killed. Some of the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall also stepped forward. The crowd couldn't help but look at the square. There were more than 10 corpses lying there. The blood had yet to dry. Yanlan frowned. It was reasonable for Lu Ming to kill those people who barged into the Lu family. However, it was hard to justify these people. They prevented me from killing the real culprit. I reminded them that they asked for it. Lu Ming said coldly, "Ha ha ha, what a joke. Lu Ming, according to what you said, if the sect leader stopped you, would you kill the sect leader as well?" Duanmu Pejun laughed. Lu Ming frowned and didn't say anything. He couldn't refute this point. This matter was caused by your Duanmu family. Lu Ming was trying to protect his family and his mother. In a moment of desperation, he attacked too heavily. This is human nature. It is pardonable. He doesn't deserve to die, Yanlan said. Yanlan, are you sure you want to protect Lu Ming? Duanmu Pejun said. That's right. Yanlan was resolute and decisive. Then let's fight today. Let's see how long you can protect Lu Ming. Duanmu Pejun roared. Boom! Duanmu Pejun and Yanlan's auras exploded as they clashed in the air. The sect leader frowned. Pejun, stop! An old voice sounded. Then, with a flash of golden light, a white-haired old man with a walking stick appeared in the air. This old man was wearing a golden robe. Clearly, he was a golden-robed elder. Father, why did you come out of seclusion? Seeing the old man, Duanmu Pejun cried out in alarm. When the others heard this, they were all shocked. This person was actually Duanmu Pejun's father? This is troublesome, Yanlan muttered with a frown. Below, Mulin's eyes were filled with worry. Duanmu Pejun's father, Duanmu Songhai, was the previous clan leader of the Duanmu family. He was also the previous dean of the White Tiger Hall. Although his current identity was a golden-robed elder of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, his cultivation was extremely terrifying. It was unfathomable and surpassed ordinary golden-robed elders. It was said that in recent years he had been cultivating in seclusion in hopes of breaking through to the Supreme King realm. Unexpectedly, he came out of seclusion now. Greetings, old clan leader. Everyone from the Duanmu family stepped forward and bowed. Old Hai, why did you come out of seclusion? Did this matter need to alarm you? The sect leader's expression changed slightly before he smiled. Duanmu Songhai revealed a dry smile and said, Sect leader, if my old bones didn't come out for a walk, my Duanmu family would have been killed to the last man. The sect leader's expression changed slightly. He smiled and said, Old Hai, you're exaggerating. Why did you have to go to this extent? I've already heard about this matter. Firstly, my Duanmu family was also in the wrong. We were bewitched by others. However, Lu Ming was too ruthless. Not only did he kill them all, he even killed his way to the White Tiger Hall and killed more than 10 martial grandmasters. This matter cannot be forgotten. He can be spared from death, but he can't escape punishment. I suggest that he be expelled from the sect. Duanmu Songhai said. No way. Yanlan took a step forward and firmly objected. This old man is so scheming. If we expel Lu Ming from the sect, without the protection of the sect, they will definitely send people to kill Lu Ming. Mulin's eyes were filled with anxiety. Old Hai, Lu Ming has a young temperament and is easily impulsive. However, it is not necessary to expel him from the sect. The sect leader said, Haha, sect leader, it seems like you still cherish talents. However, you can also see that Lu Ming forcefully merged with the Demon King's soul. Even if he temporarily obtained strength, his foundation has been destroyed. He will no longer be a genius, but a cripple. Duanmu Songhai smiled and said. The sect leader frowned and pondered. After all, the Duanmu family was at fault in this matter. Lu Ming was only taking revenge for his family. Many young disciples would definitely stand on Lu Ming's side. If they expelled Lu Ming from the sect like this, many disciples would be bitterly disappointed. Seeing the sect leader hesitate, Duanmu Songhai's expression gradually turned cold. He said slowly, "Sect leader, my Duanmu family has been working hard for the Mystic Essence Sword Sect for thousands of years. We have made countless contributions. Today, so many of our people were killed by a junior disciple. If you don't expel him from the sect, then let my Duanmu family leave." Boom! This sentence was like a thunderbolt that exploded in everyone's mind, causing a commotion. This was a blatant threat. Duanmu Songhai was using the entire Duanmu family to threaten the sect leader. Despicable, shameless. Pang Shi, Mulins, and the others growled. The sect leader's expression also changed greatly. He said solemnly, "Old Hai, your words are too much." Although he said so, the sect leader had to take it seriously. In these years, the Duanmu family had become stronger and stronger. The entire White Tiger Hall had almost become their world. If they lost the Duanmu family, then the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's vitality would be greatly damaged and their strength would weaken greatly. As the sect leader, he had to treat this seriously. Damn it, this old man. Yan Lan clenched his fists. Duanmu Pejuan and the other Duanmu family disciples sneered in their hearts. Let's see how Lu Ming will escape this calamity. After Duanmu, Songhai finished speaking. A trace of scheming hung on the corner of his mouth. He narrowed his eyes slightly, waiting for the sect leader's answer. After pondering for a while, the sect leader took a deep breath. A bright light flashed in his eyes as he looked at Lu Ming and slowly said, "Lu Ming, although there is a reason for this matter, you have gone overboard by killing more than 10 people from the White Tiger Hall. They were all from the same sect. This is a serious crime." The sect leader's dignified voice spread throughout the hall. "Sect leader, you can't!" Yanlan roared. "Sect leader, Lu Ming avenged his family. What is wrong with that? What crime is there?" Mulins also shouted, "If that's the case, then the Duanmu family can kill our family in the future, and we can't take revenge. What kind of logic is this?" Pang Shi also roared, his voice shaking the entire hall. Many disciples' eyes flickered. Obviously, they agreed with Pang Shi's words. "Impudent, you dare to question the sect leader's decision. You are all guilty." Chapter 188. Duanmu Pejuan, what are you shouting for? Are you going to attack a junior? Yan Lan glared at Duanmu Pejuan. "Dean!" Suddenly Lu Ming shouted. Yan Lan looked at Lu Ming. The others also looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Yan Lan and said, "Lu Ming, thanks Dean for your help." Then Lu Ming looked at Mulins and the others and said, "Senior Sister Mulins, Big Stone, Feng Wu, you don't have to say more. I already understand this matter." After saying that, Lu Ming smiled indifferently. The sect leader's intention was clear. What he meant next was to expel him from the sect. "I'm still not important enough." Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Strength. Everything was still a matter of strength. He was too weak. If he was extremely powerful and surpassed the Duanmu family, why would the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader have this intention? Why would he punish him? Even if he destroyed the Duanmu family, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader would not say a word. Although he had displayed an extremely powerful talent during this period of time, it was only now. After all, he was still young. Who knew what would happen in the future? Would he be like a shooting star, flashing and disappearing? There were too many examples of this in the world. Moreover, Duanmu Lin was also a peerless genius. Now that he had awakened a second-grade king bloodline, he had broken through to the martial ancestor realm at the age of 18. In many people's eyes, Duanmu Lin's future was definitely stronger than Lu Ming's. Therefore, in general, Lu Ming's value and weight were too far away from the Duanmu family. Therefore, the sect leader chose the Duanmu family in the end. This was the reality. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Then he smiled indifferently and looked at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader. His clear voice rang out, "Sect leader Lin, today I, Lu Ming, am withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword Sect." His voice was calm and indifferent, causing everyone's hearts to tremble. Lu Ming was withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Lu Ming, no. Mullins shouted, "Senior brother, Lu Ming." Pang Shi gritted his teeth, his eyes wide open. Sigh. Zhang Muyun, Duangang, and the other sighed. Many of the Duanmu clan's disciples laughed loudly. Cold smiles appeared on Duanmu Songhai and Duanmu Pajuan's faces. "Senior Sister Mullins, Big Stone, you don't need to say anything more. I've already made up my mind." Rather than wait for him to be expelled from the sect, he might as well withdraw himself. Alas! Sect leader Lin Shui let out a long sigh and said, "Lu Ming, I, Lin Shui, guarantee that no one will dare to touch your family. I will guarantee their safety for 10 years. Elder Yu," Lin Shui shouted. "I'm here." Behind Lin Shui, a golden-robed elder cupped his fists and said, "Set off immediately and guard the Lu clan in Windfire City for 10 years. Ensure the safety of the Lu clan for 10 years. Kill anyone who dares to touch the Lu clan," Lin Shui instructed. Understood. The golden-robed elder cupped his fists and turned into a streak of light, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu, Songhai's old eyes narrowed slightly. A sharp light flashed across them. Duanmu Pujuan's face was slightly ugly. It was obvious that Lin Shui's action was to guard against the Duanmu clan. "Many thanks, sect leader Lin." Lu Ming stepped forward, cupping his fists to express his gratitude. He was sincerely thanking Lin Shui. He was originally worried about the Lu clan and his mother, but there was no need for that now. With a golden-robed elder guarding the Lu clan would be absolutely safe for the next 10 years. "Lu Ming, I've let you down. As the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader, I have to think for the sect." Lin Shui's sigh sounded in Lu Ming's ears. Of course, it was transmitted through voice transmission. No one else could hear it. Lu Ming nodded, not saying anything. He then flew towards Yanlan. He saluted and said, "Sect leader, Lu Ming thanks you for your help." "Lu Ming, you don't have to do this. I can protect you even if I have to risk my life," Yanlan said. Lu Ming will remember sect leader's kindness. After saluting again, Lu Ming moved and came to Mullins' side. "Lu Ming, senior brother Lu Ming." Mullins and the others shouted. Their eyes filled with anger and reluctance. "Everyone, take care in the future. I will come back to see you." Lu Ming said with a smile, "Senior brother Lu Ming, if you leave the sect, I will follow you. I won't stay here anymore." Pang Shi shouted, "Big Stone, what nonsense are you talking about? Cultivate well in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. With your talent, you will definitely achieve something in the future. Don't disappoint your parents." Lu Ming said, but his heart was filled with warmth. The best thing he had gained in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect was to make a few true friends. But, Pang Shi's eyes were red. His fists were clenched tightly. "But what? Cultivate well. We will definitely meet again in the future and drink together." Lu Ming patted Pang Shi's shoulder and said solemnly. Pang Shi clenched his teeth and nodded solemnly. "Lu Ming, you leave the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Be careful. The Duanmu family will not let you off so easily." Mullins warned, her eyes filled with worry. Lu Ming nodded. Of course, he was well aware of this. His relationship with the Duanmu clan was already irreconcilable. Suddenly, Lu Ming smiled and whispered in Mullins' ear, "Senior Sister Mullins, don't forget that you still owe me a reward. I will ask for it the next time we meet." Then he took a deep breath. Mullins blushed and said softly, "As long as you are alive, everything is negotiable." "Everything is negotiable." Is she hinting at something? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then he smiled and turned to leave. "Lu Ming, take care." Zhang Muyun strode out and cupped his fists at Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, take care." Ling Kong, Duangang, Zhuo Yirong, Qing Feilwan, and the rest walked out and cupped their fists at Lu Ming. Haha, everyone, take care. Let's drink together next time. Lu Ming laughed heartily. Next time? There will be a next time? Lu Ming, I will kill you. Duanmu Lin's eyes were cold, and his voice was filled with killing intent. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Duanmu Lin with a sneer on his face. Duanmu Lin, do you really think you are a genius? I, Lu Ming, swear today that I will take your head with my own strength within 2 years. Haha, what a joke with your own strength. You will never be a match for me in this lifetime. Duanmu Lin revealed a mocking smile that was filled with disdain. Also, we'll talk about it again if you have the life to live. Lin, he is just talking nonsense. He forcefully merged with the Beast King's soul and will soon become a cripple. He is already at the end of his road. Duanmu Pejuan sneered. Is that so? Old man, just you wait. Today, I killed more than a dozen people from your Duanmu family. In the future, I will definitely flatten the Duanmu family with a long spear in my hand. With that, Lu Ming let out a long laugh. Step by step, he stepped into the air and headed out of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Under the sunlight, Lu Ming's young back view was filled with confidence, perseverance, unyielding spirit, and a heroic spirit that seemed to be ready to break through the heavens. This scene, this moment, this back view, was deeply imprinted in the minds of everyone present. Chapter 189. Lu Ming, I believe that nothing will happen to you. You will definitely be able to create a miracle and flatten the Duanmu family in the future. Mu Lin's whispered. As for Feng Wu, he also looked at Lu Ming's departing figure with a complicated expression. This youth, who was about the same age as him, had joined the Mystic Essence Sword Sect with her and participated in the examination together, but he had created too many miracles. Once, she had a special feeling for Lu Ming, but as Lu Ming burst out with a dazzling light, she suppressed that feeling. She knew that the gap between them was too big. In the future, it would only get bigger and bigger. Senior brother, Lu Ming. Pang sure clenched his fists tightly. His tiger eyes were filled with tears as his body trembled nonstop. Lu Ming, the world is unfair, but I believe that you will be able to break through all the obstacles. In the future, I will wait for you to discuss the Tao with me. Zhang Muyun muttered to himself. At the side, Zhui Yirong tightly grabbed onto Zhang Muyun's hands. Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Lu Yao stared blankly at Lu Ming's departing figure. At this moment, she didn't know why, but her heart was filled with complicated emotions. On one hand, she hated that Lu Ming was just a trash that she had abandoned, but he actually had such a high talent. Furthermore, he had killed his father and crippled his brother. On the other hand, she was afraid that Lu Ming would really one day kill his way to the Duanmu family and destroy everything she had. Lu Ming, you should go to hell. In the end, Lu Yao growled. Sigh. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, Lin Shui, let out a long sigh. She turned around and took a step forward, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Songhai looked in the direction where Lu Ming had disappeared. His turbid old eyes flashed with a bright light. Pejuan, this child is too extraordinary. He is a peerless genius and must not be allowed to live. If he does not die, my heart will not be at ease. Duanmu Songhai said solemnly to Duanmu Pejuan. Duanmu Pejuan was greatly shocked. His father actually thought so highly of Lu Ming. Was Lu Ming's threat really that great? Father, don't worry. I will arrange it. Duanmu Pejuan bowed. That's great. Duanmu Songhai nodded, then took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. The crowd slowly dispersed. However, after today's events, Lu Ming's name was destined to shock everyone in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. His name would be engraved in the history of the sect. Lu Ming left the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and quickly flew into the distance. Not long after, he rushed into a mountain forest. At this time, the aura on his body was rapidly declining. Although the Demon King's soul was powerful, It had been holding on for so long, and its energy had been depleted. Puff! Lu Ming's body trembled, and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The backlash from the Demon King's soul is too strong. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, my body was nearly unable to withstand it and was severely injured. Lu Ming pondered. At this moment, his bones were faintly cracked, his muscles were torn apart by a powerful force, and his skin was covered with a thick layer of blood scabs. However, it was not as serious as Duanmu Pujuan and the others had imagined. They had thought that Lu Ming was already crippled. As long as Lu Ming focused on recuperating, he would recover in a few days. This was the uniqueness of the spirit-devouring bloodline. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the mystic essence sword sect, his eyes shining brightly. In the end, I'm still too weak. The Duanmu family used their entire family to suppress the mystic essence sword sect master. Of course, I can't compare to an entire family. But that's only for now. Soon, I will prove that I alone can suppress an entire family, an entire force. I want to become stronger. With a spear in hand, I can dominate the world. That's my goal. Lu Ming clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination. There's also Autumn Moon. This time, I can't bid farewell to her. If she knows that I left the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, I wonder what she will do. That girl will probably cause a huge ruckus. Lu Ming thought to himself, forget it. There will be a time when we meet again. The most important thing now is to recuperate. With a thought, Lu Ming appeared in the Temple of Paragon. He took out a healing pill, swallowed it, and started to recuperate. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries were 80% healed. Mother must be worried about me this time. I should go back home and see her. Then I'll go to the imperial capital and cultivate while thinking of a way to save my father. After planning the rest of his journey, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon. He found a small river in the forest and washed the blood off his body. He then changed into a black robe and put on a bamboo hat. He left the forest and headed toward Fenghua City. The black robe and bamboo hat were the same ones he had used before. He had always kept them in the Temple of Paragon. The Duanmu family wouldn't let him off so easily. Hence, he had to be careful. On the way to Firestorm City, he changed directions a few times. He only returned to the Lu family 7 days later. Ming, you're fine. That's great. At the first sight of Lu Ming, Li Ping's tears rolled down her cheeks. She hugged Lu Ming tightly. Lu Ming had chased after Lu Yunxiong. During this period, she had been on tenterhooks every day. She was afraid that something had happened to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm fine. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. That's great. That's great. Li Ping nodded incessantly, looking at Lu Ming carefully. Then he chatted with Li Ping about the Lu family situation. Previously, the 2nd to 6th branches of the Lu family had all surrendered to Lu Yunxiong. However, Lu Ming had returned. Not only did he kill all of Lu Yunxiong's men, but he even chased after Lu Yunxiong. Seeing those invincible experts lying in the Lu family's courtyard as corpses, the Lu family's members were terrified. It was unbelievable that Lu Ming was so strong. For the past few days, they had been waiting in fear for Lu Ming's return and his judgment. After chatting with Li Ping for a while, the remaining 3 core elders of the Lu family came to greet him. The 3 of us greet the young lord. When the 3 core elders saw Lu Ming, they bowed and greeted him. Elders, there's no need to be so polite. Lu Ming quickly helped the 3 core elders up. He was touched and respectful that the core elders still stood by the Lu family and Li Ping's side at the moment of life and death. The 3 core elders looked at Lu Ming with undisguised joy in their eyes. Lu Ming's combat strength was so strong that he could chase after Lu Yunxiong and return alive. This meant that the Lu family would rise soon. They were naturally happy. Young lord, the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches are waiting outside. One of the core elders said, Oh, then let them wait. Come, 3 elders, let's have some tea and chat." Lu Ming smiled and invited the 3 core elders to take a seat. Then Lu Ming asked about the Lu family situation and the details of how Lu Yunxiong came to the Lu family. In the blink of an eye, 2 hours had passed. "Go, let them in." Lu Ming ordered a maid. The maid acknowledged and went out. Soon, 5 middle-aged men came in. These 5 middle-aged men were the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches and the elders of the Lu family. "Greetings, young lord." Chapter 190. Lu Ming sat upright in his seat and accepted the bow calmly. He glanced at them and sneered. "I'm your young master? Your master should be Lu Yunxiong, right?" The faces of the 5 branch leaders paled, and one of them said, "Young lord, you've misunderstood. That day, the force Lu Yunxiong brought with him was too strong. If we resisted, we would have been annihilated. If that happened, the Lu family would be finished. Yes, young master, we surrendered to Lu Yunxiong only as a temporary measure. We wanted to preserve our lives and wait for your return." "Oh, is that so?" Lu Ming looked at them with a faint smile. He did not speak, but picked up his teacup and drank slowly. The 5 branch leaders looked at each other. They did not know what Lu Ming was thinking and felt uneasy. At that time, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect had already informed them of my death, right? Waiting for my return? Did they already know that I was not dead? Lu Ming asked calmly. The 5 of them began to sweat and looked at each other. Then they braced themselves and said, "Young master, you are a genius. How could you die so easily? We already guessed that you were not dead. That's why we decided to take advantage of you." "Oh, I see. You are all very resourceful. You can even tell someone's fortune." Lu Ming said calmly and continued to drink his tea. The 5 branch leaders' faces turned red, but they could only grit their teeth and keep quiet. The atmosphere seemed to have frozen. Lu Ming drank his tea. The 3 core elders and Li Ping did not speak. The 5 branch leaders could only stand there and did not dare to make a sound. The current Lu Ming was no longer the useless young master from back then. His combat power was unparalleled and his cultivation had reached an incredible level. Killing them was easier than killing an ant. Unknowingly, he had formed a very powerful aura. They did not even dare to breathe loudly in front of Lu Ming. "Lu Yunxiong has been killed by me." Suddenly, Lu Ming's voice sounded. "What?" Not only were the 5 branch masters shocked, but even the 3 core elders were shocked. "I've already killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger Hall. Therefore, don't think that you're lucky. This is the fate of those who betray the Lu clan," Lu Ming said coldly. "Hiss," everyone gasped. Lu Ming had actually killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger courtyard and still managed to return alive. Just how capable was he? It was already hard for them to imagine. At the same time, the 5 branch leaders were terrified. They looked at each other and actually knelt down together, saying, "Young lord, we were really foolish that day. Please forgive us, young lord. We will wholeheartedly assist young lord in reviving the Lu family. If we disobey, we will die a horrible death." Why can't I believe it? Lu Ming looked at the 5 branch masters with a faint smile. The cold sweat on the faces of the 5 branch masters became denser and dripped down continuously. "How about this? All of you swear an oath on your inner demons, and I'll believe you." Lu Ming said indifferently, "An oath on your inner demons." The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically. An oath on one's inner demons was to swear to one's own heart, using one's blood essence as a stepping stone. Once a martial artist made an oath on his inner demons and went against it in the future, it would be easy for the inner demons to flare up during cultivation, resulting in chi deviation and death. Why? If you don't want to make the oath, I won't feel at ease leaving you here. Lu Ming's voice turned cold. The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically, and they quickly said, "Yes, we'll make the oath." Then the 5 of them swore an oath on their inner demons. Lu Ming smiled and said, "In the future, you will know that you made the right choice. Now you may leave." The 5 branch masters quickly excused themselves. "Elders, the Lu clan's strength has been greatly reduced after a series of twists and turns. However, quality is more important than quantity. I have some secret manuals here. Take them and cultivate." Lu Ming's phone lit up, and a stack of books appeared on the table. Secret manuals on cultivation and martial techniques? The 3 core elders were confused, and they each picked up a book and flipped through it. As soon as they opened the book, their eyes widened in shock. High-grade yellow class martial techniques. Mine is also a high-grade yellow class martial technique. Mine too. The 3 core elders exclaimed in unison. "Elders, here are 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques. Take them and cultivate. You can also choose the best seedlings in the clan and teach them." Lu Ming smiled. 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques? The 3 core elders sucked in a breath of cold air. The Lu clan only had 1 high-grade yellow class martial technique, and it was regarded as the clan's ultimate technique. Ordinary people were not qualified to cultivate it. The Lu clan did not have many low-grade yellow class martial techniques, only 6 or 7 of them. Now, Lu Ming actually took out so many secret manuals in one go. If the Lu clan's disciples cultivated them, their strength would rise quickly. "Thank you, young lord." The 3 core elders thanked Lu Ming, their bodies trembling with excitement. "Elders, you don't have to thank me. Since I am the young lord of the Lu clan, this is what I should do," Lu Ming said. In the Dongi clan's ruins, Lu Ming had obtained more than 30 yellow class martial technique manuals. These manuals were useless to him, so he could only sell them. It was better to keep them in the Lu clan and increase their strength. "There's more." Lu Ming's mind moved, and a few more jade bottles appeared on the table. Inside these jade bottles were some medicinal pills. Some could heal injuries, some could expel poison, and some could increase the cultivation of martial soldier or martial mentor. They were all obtained by Lu Ming from the enemies he killed. They were useless to Lu Ming, but to most of the Lu clan's Meridian Opening Realm and Martial Soldier Realm martial artists, they were of great use. "Take these pills. As for how to divide them, you can decide," Lu Ming said. "Young lord, if you give them to the clan, what about yourself?" One of the core elders asked. "Take them. I have no use for them." Lu Ming smiled. Good. We'll take them. We'll distribute them to the disciples who are loyal to the Lu clan and increase the clan's strength." Another core elder said excitedly. The 3 of them carefully put away the pills. Li Ping was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth when she saw Lu Ming take out so many treasures. The 3 core elders bid farewell to Lu Ming. They were in a hurry to go back and discuss how to use these treasures to increase the Lu clan's strength as soon as possible. Lu Ming stayed in the Lu clan for 7 days. After 7 days, Lu Ming decided to bid farewell to Li Ping. He couldn't hide in the Lu clan forever. There were some things he had to face. Moreover, he had to investigate Lu Yuntian's whereabouts as soon as possible. In the main residence's courtyard. "Ming, go out. Be careful." Li Ping didn't urge Lu Ming to stay. She only reminded Lu Ming to be careful. A man's ambition was to travel far. Moreover, a genius like Lu Ming couldn't be trapped in one place. That would only bind him. Li Ping knew this very well, so she didn't urge him to stay. "Mother, don't worry. Ming, it will be fine," Lu Ming said. Afterward, Lu Ming pondered and hesitated. After a while, he said, "Mom, Ming'er has something to tell you." Chapter 191. In the past, he chose to keep it a secret as he was worried about Li Ping. However, after experiencing so many things during this period of time, he understood a lot more. If he told Li Ping this news, although she would be worried, there would still be hope in her heart. No matter what happened, there would always be a glimmer of hope in her heart. As long as there was hope, it was enough. What news? Li Ping asked curiously when she saw Lu Ming's solemn expression. Father, he might not be dead. Lu Ming said seriously. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Ping's body suddenly trembled and her eyes widened. Then, Li Ping's body trembled more and more violently. Her eyes flashed with strong hope as she said in a trembling voice, Ming, or what did you say? Mother, I said that father might not be dead. Lu Ming repeated. Not dead? Not dead? Ming, or is that true? Slowly, Li Ping revealed an emotional expression as tears flowed down her cheeks uncontrollably. Then she asked again, Ming, where did you get this news from? Is it true? If your father is not dead, where has he been all these years? Mother, it's like this. Then Lu Ming told Li Ping about his encounter with Zhou Linshan in detail. So it's him. He sent me a spiritual sword and a pendant back then. I once asked him about Yun Tian's whereabouts, but he told me that Yun Tian was dead. It turns out that he was lying back then. In that case, Yun Tian is really still alive in this world. Li Ping said excitedly. Her eyes were filled with hope. Yes, Mother. Now that father might be in the hands of the Shifang sword sect, I plan to go to the imperial capital to investigate father's whereabouts. Ming, I heard that the Shifang sword sect is the strongest sect in the Blazing Sun Empire. You must be careful and cautious, Li Ping warned. She was very worried. Mother, don't worry. Ming, I will not clash with the Shifang sword sect now. I'm just investigating. Nothing will happen, Lu Ming said. Li Ping was relieved. Mother, don't worry. As long as father is still alive, Ming will definitely save father and let our family reunite. Lu Ming said firmly. Ming, mother believes in you. Li Ping smiled. Lu Ming nodded heavily and said, Mother, Ming, I will leave now. Go. Lu Ming bid farewell to Li Ping and left. Walking out of the Lu mansion, Lu Ming looked towards the back of the Lu mansion. He pondered for a moment before he made his way there. Behind the Lu residence was an orchard filled with fruit trees. Among them, there were also small bridges, flowing water, pavilions, and lakes. The environment was very elegant. Lu Ming walked into the orchard and came to a small lake. Beside the lake, there was an old man fishing. This old man was none other than the golden-robed elder sent by the mystic essence sword sect master, Lin Shui, to guard the Lu family. Lu Ming, your senses are really sharp. When I was cultivating for the past 2 days, you were able to sense even the slightest fluctuation. The golden-robed elder smiled. Lu Ming, thank you for coming to guard the Lu family. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bowed. You don't have to thank me. I'm just following orders. Moreover, this is what you deserve. After all, the sect has wronged you. The golden-robed elder sighed. Lu Ming was silent and did not say anything. The golden-robed elder pondered for a moment and sighed. Lu Ming, I hope you don't blame the sect master. In fact, he was put in a difficult position. As the sect master, he has to put the mystic essence sword sect's interests first. Senior, I'm not blaming anyone. In this world, the weak are prey to the strong. If I want to blame someone, I can only blame myself for being too weak. However, sooner or later, I will surpass all forces and families. Heaven will no longer be able to cover my eyes. Lu Ming said. It seemed like he was talking to the old man, but it also seemed like he was talking to himself. The old man was stunned. He seemed to be moved. No matter what, Lu Ming still wants to thank you, Senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists again and bowed to the old man. He then turned around and strode away. Looking at Lu Ming's back, the old man was in a daze. After a long time, he let out a long sigh. Sect Master, perhaps you made the wrong choice this time. After leaving the orchard, Lu Ming did not leave Firestorm City immediately. Instead, he found a secluded place and entered the Temple of Paragon to cultivate. Time passed and night fell. Lu Ming finally left the Temple of Paragon. He put on his black robe and bamboo hat and left the city. Then he headed in the direction of the imperial capital. The imperial capital was located at the center of the Burning Sun Empire. It was more than 10,000 miles away from Firestorm City. Even with Lu Ming's current movement technique, it would take him more than 20 days to reach the imperial capital. The first 3 days were calm and peaceful. However, on the evening of the fourth day, Lu Ming, who was in a hurry, suddenly stopped. He felt a few murderous intents looming over him. Someone wanted to kill him. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming stomped his foot and soared into the sky. Just as Lu Ming soared into the sky, a sharp and cold sword qi pierced the place where Lu Ming had been standing. With a sizzling sound, the sword qi left a bottomless hole in the ground. Swoosh! Swoosh! Then 7 or 8 figures flashed out from all directions like ghosts. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the room. There were 8 figures in total. They were all wearing black robes and masks on their heads. They were wearing silver wolf masks. Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Lu Ming immediately realized that this was the Shadow Wolf Pavilion, one of the top 4 assassin organizations in the Burning Sun Empire. The silver wolf masks meant that they were silver wolf assassins of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. 5 6th-grade martial masters and 3 7th-grade martial masters. The Shadow Wolf Pavilion really thinks highly of me, Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Kill! Kill! 8 murderous cries and 8 extremely sharp sword qi pierced towards Lu Ming. Let's see who will kill who? Lu Ming roared. At the moment of life and death, Lu Ming directly activated his bloodline. At the same time, an ancient shield appeared on his body. Explode! Lu Ming ignored the attacks of the other 7. His long spear turned into a ray of light and shot towards a 6th-grade martial master assassin of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Pung pung pung. 7 consecutive attacks landed on Lu Ming's body. 4 of them were blocked by the shield. The shield buzzed and vibrated continuously, but it was not broken in the end. However, a shield could only cover a limited area and could only block one direction. 3 more sword qi landed on Lu Ming's body. 50% of the attacks were absorbed by the spirit-devouring bloodline, but the remaining power still made Lu Ming's body tremble. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming's attack also exploded. The 6th-grade martial master expert did not even have time to scream before he was killed by a spear. Devour! A huge devouring power appeared and devoured the blood essence of the assassin. Damn it, didn't they say that Lu Ming merged with the Demon King's soul and was half crippled? How can it be so terrifying? It seems that the information was wrong. Let's avoid that shield and directly attack Lu Ming's body. Once the time of his bloodline is up, we can kill him.